West Virginia, Blues Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, holding down the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads, take me on to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me on. Country roads, all my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to the world. Dark and dusty, beneath on the sleds, misty taste of moonshine, did you my country roads, take me on to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me on. Country roads, I hear a voice in the morning and she calls me. Radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get a feeling when I should home. Yesterday, country roads, take me on to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me on. Country roads, country roads, take me on to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me on. Country roads, take me on. Down country roads, take me on. Down country roads.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Nice one for that double. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. I need to just remove it from the stream. And here we are, double. That was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Shout out to everyone in the chat room as well. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you can hear Double. Hopefully you can hear Adam. And hopefully you will be able to hear Noel. Sorry for all the noise and the kerfuffle in the background. My kids are like baby elephants in the house tonight. I would have thought I would have got them chilled by 10 o'clock in the evening, but no. So yeah, Double, Noel, Adam, we've got Tenerife, we've got Malta, and we've got myself and Adam that are over here in England. Keep calm and be happy coming over from over there in Tenerife. And we've got Noel over there with your glass of, what have you got there, Noel?
It's a nice cold San Miguel.
Nice cold San Miguel. Lovely. And Adam, what are you sipping on this evening, darling?
I've got a cheeky Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, cheeky. And I've got my cup of tea. Lovely jubbly. So we're all nice and cozy.
Me and you are on tea and coffee, and the two lads are supping it up tonight. Me and you are on tea and coffee, and they're supping it up.
That's all good. That's all good. So let me go around the
Northerners got to stay fresh. Oh, I got reverb on.
Let me go around the square. I'll go down and then across to Adam. Noel, how's your day been? How's everything over there in Malta? How's baby girl? What have you been up to?
We broke the curfew again and went and hung out with some friends last night. They have a penthouse in Maliha, which is a very nice seaside town. So we go away, cat. So we stayed there had a meal last night, very nice breakfast, and then a very nice lunch with them. Yeah, had a very relaxed day. Malta is a ghost town, so it's a very pleasant weekend because there's no one on the roads and it's silent, which is not Malta at all. It's a very noisy place usually. And then let's see, not much else of note really. I did
Any
go
baking?
to the
Any
shop to
cooking?
go pick up the beers, and they've got the plastic screens everywhere. Everyone is dressed like they're about to go into surgery. You know, gloves, aprons, masks, these big protective shields like the bus drivers have, and then they kind of spray you on the way in. So, however, everyone was quite comedic and finding it quite funny because it looks bloody ridiculous. This is the common cold, people. Anyway.
My goodness. But other than that, you're all right, Noel. You're okay.
Yeah, nothing to complain about.
Yeah. What did you have for dinner this evening?
What was that? It was a improvisation of a bolognese that my friend made, and then I made Marley another pizza because she wanted to make more pizza.
I thought I saw a little bit of pizza making.
So a pizza.
I spied. I did.
They're getting better.
Spied.
I told you want to perfect it. I will send you the recipe.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait on that because, as I said, I wanna get to this whole making decent pizza flex, and just to shout you out there, Noel. Have a little look at that there,
Is this your banana bread?
Oh yeah, I'm going to show you my banana bread.
Oh, that's my pizza.
About that. That's your pizza. I like the design on that one today. That was kind of snazzy still.
Yeah, it's been to look a little bit like Chicago
looking
town.
Pizza, bro. Yeah, I'll bring my banana cake that I made with the kids today. But we got creative in the kitchen. You got creative again. You made a gorgeous pizza with baby girl. And I want to commend that because the monotony of being in the house and not going out, like where I live in West London, like obviously they don't even want us going out into the parks. Obviously, as you know, I've got oh, thank you, my kind son who's not upstairs chilling. Come here, come on here and bring it in. Come. We just walk through with it. Nice. So here we have our. He's telling me to mind out so I don't drop it. Here's our banana loaf. He's putting his hands up to the sky. Don't, Mum, don't. So here's our beautiful banana loaf cake that we made today.
Is it just like pancake mix with banana blended in?
Well, if you can call Betty Crocker pancake mix, then yeah.
Is that a pre-made?
It was a pre-made mix. We put banana in there. We did.
What about the corporate edition?
That's the thing that killed it. While my back was turned, the girl got banana Nesquik out. There was no need for that. That was like classic child movement. It was like,
no, but it tastes good.
That's what she says. You can actually you can smell the real banana, but then behind that, just behind the real banana smell, is this kind of noxious, artificial, horrendous Nutella. So yeah, look, there we go. Let's see, nice little, really nice little. I had one with a cup of tea. It was absolutely delish. So that was the easy one. The next time we do it, we're going to do like more, weighing out the different ingredients and using the raw ingredients and not using a pre-made packet. I want to make some bread rolls. I want to make some bread loaves. I've got £2 loaf tin. So I do want to make bread because buying it has become a bit of a lottery. I will say again, my shops are still empty. My local store had no bread in the aisle. I went to Richmond Sainsbury's today and Sunbury Sainsbury's, and they were both just as out of stock as each other. And the thought came to mind, actually. I want to ask you three in the panel, and I want to ask everyone in the chat room, because this is something that's become more and more apparent to me for every day that goes past. I would like to ask this really simple question, because my dad's always said this to me, and I know a lot of other people have said it as well, about money and banks, right? So let's just say some situation came about that made everybody in the country withdraw. Say everyone in the country had more than £1,000 in their bank in the first place. Let's just say absolutely every single person in the country took £1,000 out, right? Just as a provision, right? £1,000 out of their entire money. Would all of the banks in the country be able to provide that £1,000 in cash for people right there
Absolutely
and then?
not.
Right.
Well,
so with that being said, with the
300 million people
all across the country,
68 million, isn't it?
When have the
yeah.
supermarkets ever had to deal with the entire country doing their shop within a 2.5 week period? Like their entire shop, whether people bought extra provisions or not. Like we all knew the catalyst was there because the division was there in people very, very early on. Like, so see, for me as a mum of two, I didn't panic buy. I bought a couple of packets of flour. I bought a couple of 5 litres of water. I bought a couple of extra packets of pasta. I bought, just some extra provisions. That's not panic buying. But now what we've got is the country divided. I watched it today. I watched people making insane accusations saying people bought 1,000 toilet rolls. That's why we're in this position. No, 1,000 people in every single store bought toilet rolls. That's what the problem is. Everyone bought them. Not everyone bought 1,000 each, but they've got the country polarized on this right now. We've got a nurse who's gone viral saying, do you know what? There was no supplies for me there. Shout out to the nurse. I know a lot of people on Facebook that I've gone to college with that have started initiatives that are already taking restaurant food to the hospital workers. These are the people that people are going to be coming across when they get ill.
The supermarkets have addressed that, Rox.
Of course, yeah. But this is but this is the polarized thing I want to mention, Adam, right? Because this is something that you will come across in the community that shops in your pharmacy. What I don't like is the polarization of this, right? And I'm going to stress this throughout this live stream. Yes, have the nurse on. By all means, have the nurse on, because that is the front line. These like critical care nurses are who you're going to come across when you're really sick in hospital, innit? These are the nurses that are going to look after us. So obviously everyone should be dealt with, but it was the way the news highlighted just the nurse. Well, how about for all of the workers that get paid monthly, who shopping last week wasn't an option for? And how about all the OAPs who shopping last week wasn't an option for? The timing of the shopping is what was critical here, right? The amount of the country that was able to do that kind of shop at that time of the month, right, has left a shitload of people without provisions, basically. It's left pensioners, people on universal credits, people on all sorts of disability allowance, employment support allowance. You see people that have carers that are with them that have learning difficulties. They're on a different kind of allowance from their local government. I know that because Bluebird and all of those kind of care, they have bursaries for the people that have care workers and stuff like that, Adam. I can't remember what each council, they have in their primary care trust, they have an amount that they can spend on old people for primary care.
Domiciliary care.
That's it. That domiciliary care. That's it. So see those funds, they get released at a certain time, Adam. So see, even those people have been caught out, not just nurses. And it annoyed me the way the country was kind of weaponized by this one nurse who's now made a disdain on anyone pick up 2 packets of bread. You've got 5 kids at home, so it's just the whole situation has been completely broke, only because, let's just be honest, the whole country isn't prepared, supermarkets wise, for absolutely everyone in the country to go and buy their shopping at the same time. Let's just call a spade a spade. The shelves
just imagine if everyone flushed a toilet at the same time.
Hold it down. So shout out for letting me say that, guys. I know I waffled on for a little minute there, but I did want to get that out because it's not just nurses. There's a lot of society that have been affected by this, right? I'm sure you're seeing them in the pharmacy affected by this.
Yeah. People are grabbing, and we got problems. Just something I want to announce. The doctors think the solution to this is to issue scripts worth 2 months, 3 months in some cases.
That's not the solution, is it?
And that is not the solution. We're hard enough as it is. Yeah, I've now got to tell people extra work, explain to people why I'm only giving them 1 month's worth of the meds, because they're stretching the supply chain, and this is about making sure there's enough for everybody, not there's loads for a few. And it's very frustrating that, like I said, that's being in few and far between, but we're seeing it. So it's a little frustrating that, and it's reflected everywhere, isn't it? It's, I'd say, frustrating. I think if everybody just breathes and stops thinking there's and a panic, then the supply chains will reinstate. The MP I met yesterday, ex-RAF and logistics expert, and he said that's the issue in the super. You know, we're having a good chat, and it is literally that they're on overtime in terms of, you know, stepping up how the supply chain works, but still everything's geared coming in for a certain amount. Now, you would just hope, wouldn't you, that people with 40, 50 rolls of toilet paper aren't buying it next week.
Well, that's the next week. That's what I'm hoping now. I'm hoping that the society part that like, see me, I've got stocks in, so I'm not going back out to the shop now to repeat buy. You know, this. I'm hoping that most of the people that have their stock in, right, not ridiculous stock, just stock enough for their family to hold them for a couple of weeks, right, will now allow the rest of the stock for the other people, because I like you said, people that have got stock in their house, I don't know what they're going back into the store for more water, for more dried goods, for more goods that, you know, like I know the elderly couple that live next to me, they really do buy like tinned potatoes and rice pudding and like custard and, you know, like the cupboard what they call like what did she ask me to? It was a golden syrup sponges. You know, the little golden syrup sponges in the little cupboard packets with the tin.
Treacle cake, so kind of thing.
Really love them. Like for them, that's just great because they can keep them in their cupboards and they can have them after dinner as they please. A bit like Meals on Wheels type of dessert kind of things. But people have just rinsed it. Like you can't get those in the shops for love nor money. Like you really can't. And that's what annoys me. People have bought things that they wouldn't normally have in their house, and they've just bought them for the sake of buying them.
And that they might actually end up throwing away because they never actually need them, because actually the shops stay open, so everybody can still go and get their essential foods. So they'll have all this stuff in their cupboards, and they go, "Well, I don't even fucking like that. I'm going to chuck it out."
Billy boy, that's exactly what we're trying to say that we're hoping doesn't happen. You're right. Yeah, the greedy will probably still go out buying, but we can only hope, right? We can only hope that they don't.
I think they've put limits on now at the supermarket, so you're on down to 4s, aren't you? Which is reasonable. You, like you say, you're not going to get scorned upon for getting, you know, a bit of bread, the same amount of bread as you got last week. Affecting me though, Rox. I went to get me coffee for next week. I was only allowed 4 packs of 10 pods. Well,
you see,
I'm front line, man.
You are.
Your pods of coffee ain't going to keep me going for a week.
I can't get my Nespresso pods for love or money, and I didn't stock up or anything. I didn't buy any. I just thought I'll buy some more when I run out, and it's none there.
But you know what I mean? That's it. I'll have to go back again and buy another 4 midweek. You know what I mean? So be it. If that's the hardship, then, you know, I can live with that, innit? Because Marie will probably go.
If you know that they're going to be there, it's not a problem, is it?
Well, that's what I mean. And
it's like
Marie's been shopping a number of times for me, my auntie and my mum one day, and for her mum and dad the next. To the shops on different occasions, getting all the essentials for the week. And she came back. She didn't take them any UHT milk homes. You know, it was just the basics that would keep them going, no problem. And they're chilled. Do you know what I mean? I think mum and dad's got an internet delivery booked for next week. So things are, I think I was talking to the neighbours today who are like us, 2 young kids. She normally has internet delivery. She's cancelled her internet delivery to make sure, because she's freed up, to make sure that anyone that does need it actually can use it. So that's not there. And there's so many good things from not even woke people that have just genuinely care, you know, that you see, and that I think is a good sign. It's just, let's say, it's almost like agent provocateurs almost now.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. I think it's the people that want to agitate the situation to cause civil unrest.
Well, I'm glad you guys have mentioned that, because after I've given a shout out to the chat room, I wanted to bring up what we were talking about before we went live, Rich, about those same people. And
being the one,
Thank you so much to Flatball, but please don't use my super chat, guys, because I'm at loggerheads with Google AdSense at the moment. So if you'd like to support my stream or Double O's and what we're doing, please use the link in the description. I will make sure a banner goes up on the bottom of the screen stating that. But thank you so much to Flatball. Mwah. Massive love to you. Cheers. I'm going to give a shout out to the chat room, guys, if that's okay with you three. Is that all right? If I just jump in there and give everyone a shout out, and putting some great
one of the things we do, isn't it?
In there. So I'm going to give you all a shout out now to Ossia. Lovely to see you. We've got someone there from Malta. Noel, do you recognize that name, darling?
Hey,
Ossia Kokosia.
Oh,
Ossia, hello.
That's my friend Olga.
Love it. Shout out to you, my darling.
Ossia has the same name.
Awesome. Shout out to Vertek as well in the chat room. Lovely to see you. And Adam Meekins there in the chat room, everybody. He is a chemist. So if you've got any medical questions that you feel that Adam may be able to answer or be helpful with, is that all right if I throw you onto the
I'm busy spamming your PayPal link, Rox. Sorry.
Oh, bless you, my darling. Thank you. Adam is there in the chat room and he's with us here on the panel as well. Shout out to Adam Meekin there with us tonight. Mikey Smith from Canada, lovely to see you as well. Sorry, no, I'll take the camera off you there, darling.
It's horrible, isn't it? No,
I'm really bad. Sorry. Local experimentalist, lovely to see you in the chat room as well, sweetheart. Riddle me this. Lovely to see you too, Ninja Man, Spirit Level. Hello from Bristol. Hi to you as well, my love.
Bristol, we got Bristolians in here. That's bloody brilliant, that is. Spirit level. I just want to say big shout out to anyone from Bristol.
I don't know if I can do it.
I love Bristol.
I'll be down to Bedminster on the weekend.
Shout out to Bristol in the chat room.
Big shout out to Bristol. I can't believe you just said that
as well. Huh?
I can't believe you just said that.
What?
I can't believe you just said that.
What?
I don't know.
Oh,
what?
Tomasino, lovely to see you as well. Adam Forrest, lovely to see you as well. 5 artists in the chat room as well. Lovely to see you too. Further up the list, we have Ian Adams, lovely to see you, and Billy Boy in the chat room as well. Further up the list, we've got Paul from Newcastle and SO, lovely to see you in the chat room too. Further up the list, Astral Thief in the chat room too. Lovely to see you as well. And Amanda Young, Flat Earth Head as well in the chat room. Lovely to see you and you in the chat room as well. Great to see you all in the chat room. One Walking Life too. And with a bit of luck, I will not have missed anybody out.
Big shout out to the whole chat room, man.
Yeah, big shout out to you all.
Particularly all the people that have donated to my channel, guys. You're absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. And to everybody that's donated to Roxanne as well. You're amazing.
Annette Shirley as well. Hello to you too. Hello from STL USA. Shout out to you, my darling Annette. Vagabond in the chat room too. Jessica Lubin in the chat room as well. One Walking Life. Hello from Worcester. Lovely to see you. Just going to put up, if you want to give a shout out from where you are, I'd love to put it up on the screen so the guys can see where you're all coming from as well. I'm from London. Adam is up there near Nottingham, aren't you? If I'm right.
I was on mute, sorry, yeah. Not up there, in the middle of, yeah.
Middle of, and we've got Noel over there in Malta and Richie and Alfie there who snuggled up with Richie all the way over there in Tenerife's in the Canaries. Reverend Hull as well, lovely to see you in the chat room too. And to Dean H from Colchester, we've got Vertek from London. Tomasino is from Yeovil in Somerset. And we've got Martin Leadcar. Oi, oi! Lovely to see you as well. Wales.
All the way over there. That's brilliant, that is.
We've got Astral Thief.
Stereophonics.
Denmark for the Astral Thief. And we've got Telford in Shropshire from Kelvin. Lovely to see you as well. Of course, we've got Spirit Level in Bristol.
Gertlush. Bloody Gertlush, mate.
What is
That's Gertlush, that is.
What? I'm lost. I'm lost.
What? Gertlush?
What is that all about? What's Gertlush?
Gertlush is that like oh mate. It's like right. I've got this. Right.
No, you just sound like a
This
Farmer John.
coffee.
Now. You sound
There's
like someone who has a
no.
combine
But there's
harvest guy.
no. Shut up. I can't believe you just said that. I can't believe you just said that. Shut up, though.
No,
right.
I don't get it.
This coffee is
Right.
Gertlush.
Gertlush. Okay, it's Gertlush. Shout out to Spirit Level. Where else have we got in the chat room? We've got East London, Alfie Patchin.
East London, go on.
East London boys in the building.
It's
Shout
the
out
London
to you
team.
lot. Lovely to see you all. And we've got Enfield in the chat room as well. We've got local experimentalist from Enfield. Shout out to you as well, my darling. We've got Adelaide calling.
Harry Enfield.
Yeah, oh, you funny.
I like Harry Enfield.
We've got Adelaide calling and Flatbury, you're absolutely amazing. Big shout out to you, my darling. Thank you so much for that, sweetheart. You're an absolute darling. Jude H in Northampton with Coffee Paul.
Hey, Jude,
you as well.
Hey Jude, don't be so sad. Take a sad song and make it better. How many people have done that then, Jude? I bet it's more than one, isn't it? And also, her bloody initial is H.
Shout out to
Hey Jude.
Just got that now. Thank you, darling. That's a beautiful, beautiful rendition there, Rich. Thank you. See that, Jude? You got your own personalized shout out there. That was beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, darling. Everyone else in the chat room? Oh, we've got the Northwest. Christian Kumar. The Northwest. Lovely. And we've got Flatboy in Oxford. Love it.
Oxford. What her?
Love it. Ah, Martin.
That's why you wear the Wellington boots, isn't it? So they can't run away. You put the sheep's back legs in the front of your boots, and then the sheep are just stuck.
No,
I thought that's why they took them to the edge of cliffs.
So they push back harder.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
7 years in Wales, I heard them all.
There's lots more.
What are we like? What are we like? Well, moving a little bit along, shout out to the chat room. We will get back into the chat room. And if you have any questions for any of us on the panel tonight, please pop your question in the chat room with capital letters so that I can differentiate it from all the other comments in the chat room, and I will pop them up on the screen. We will try and get them answered for you. I'm going to switch gears a little bit, guys, because we seem to have picked up the pace a little bit here in the UK, and Mr. Boris Johnson has said, listen, stay apart or face tougher coronavirus measures. It looks like Britain may need to impose curfews and travel restrictions to halt the spread of coronavirus if people do not heed the government's advice on social distancing. Prime Minister Boris Johnson warned today, pubs, clubs, gyms have already closed, but social media on Sunday was awash with pictures of people congregating in parks, food markets, apparently just ignoring the advice to stay apart just by 2 meters. Parks in London, like my local park, Richmond Park, have been already closing down, turning people away as authorities struggle to slow the advance of the coronavirus through the population. The biggest public health crisis since the influenza pandemic of 1918, apparently. So what are we to do about this? People are to stay 2 meters apart. It's not a difficult thing to do, Boris Johnson said. Otherwise, there's going to be no doubt that we will have to bring forward further measures, and we will certainly be keeping that under constant review. He said that tougher measures such as curfews will be needed and to be timed right for maximum impact. After all, when the epidemic is hardly spreading at all, that's not the moment to impose curfews and prohibitions on the movement, and so on and so forth, he said. You've got to wait until, alas, it is the right moment to do so. So, word on the street is if people don't do as they're told, it's going to get, a lot tighter. What's the word on this, guys? What is
I've got to say, Rox.
Yeah.
It's the biggest surprise to me, to myself, that I'm saying what I'm saying about it, and I'm actually agreeing with it and saying, look, on this occasion, we need to actually be smart about this. And doing that is not smart about it, because if being smart about it is understanding what's going on, and the only way you're going to understand what's going on is if you've dug into it. And most
A lot of people
haven't,
are not listening,
because
Rich.
they don't have the time.
They had to send people away from Richmond Park, Rich. A lot of people are not listening. A lot of people are out.
They're not listening because they don't know the background, Rox, because they don't know the background. All they know is that they've been programmed. Alternatively, what I suggested to you, what me and Kay were talking about, that I think it's possible that the people that are out and like purposefully agitating the situation are the same, could be the same people that are actually clearing the.
There were actually like groups of 10 or 15 people at Richmond River today. It was packed. As I drove over the bridge, staying in my car, not getting out onto the road, I saw Richmond River packed like it was the middle of the summer holidays. I've never seen Richmond Park so.
What did the people? What was the caliber? But the thing is, what was the caliber of person?
Middle to upper class. What was the all day long, middle to upper class, designer wearing, lots of designer wearing people.
Right, people with money, yeah. So. People with that seem to have quite affluent. Despite they're spending money on clothes and whatever. They look like they're affluent, or they come from affluent families. So I think it's not really too much of a push to say that maybe they're out and partying because they're feeling really complacent and happy about the situation because they've got all their stock in and they filled their cupboards up with.
It's a stark contrast to what we saw at Speaker's Corner.
It's a bit weird.
Doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't. The continuity is off for me.
Doesn't make any sense because you'd actually think that Speaker's Corner would be the one place.
Then Speaker's Corner would be
the one place you wouldn't be able to keep anybody away from. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to keep people away from Speaker's Corner.
Right.
So that's why it's sort of, I don't know. It's just a feeling I have. These are the same people that are actually making pallets. They're buying pallets of things because they've got the money to.
I don't know.
They're complacent about life.
I'm not going to be able to prove that people have done that because I'm not going to get a look in on what people have bought. I suppose none of us are. I mean, what's everyone else's take on this?
Outside of that, for me, you kind of got to look at this from a governmental issue, and they are going to take these steps. You're hearing there that this is what's going to be happened and are going to happen. There will be a need for social distancing at some point. And now the question is, do we aggravate the situation by behaving irresponsibly? Whether we believe it is real or not, the virus, the way in which the government is going to treat this is real. So that's the only point of contention. Now, we can either behave responsibly and chill out a bit, or we can start going, no, I don't think it's real, I'm not bothered, and I'll start congregating in mass amounts. I'm not talking about families getting together and stuff like that, because that still has to continue in this time unless you've got vulnerables you need to protect. People have got to stay sane. But the reality is, if we can't, as a society, demonstrate that, then the thing that we were worrying about a week and a half ago, troops rocking up on the street, is going to be in some people's minds, a justifiable answer if the populace can't demonstrate restraint. And that's all that's been asked for, I think. But there will come a point where there's enough fair point paranoia that the streets need to be maintained by that. And not creating that problem reaction solution need is, for me, as a truth of something right now. I don't need to go out on the streets and show that this is fake, real, whatever. Just need to chill out, man.
Yeah, because the thing is, we're not actually being imprisoned in our houses. Although it feels like it a little bit. You can still go out. I can still go out. I went to the shop today. I went to Las Americas. I went further than I should have done. I went outside of my zone. I went and saw a mate in Las Americas. Didn't really. I had to go and pick something up, so we had to be very quick. He got in the car, and we were like seconds. It was like, yeah, man, how you doing? You're all right? You cool? Yeah, okay. You got to get out, man. Got to get out of the car. No more than 2 people in the car. And when I was driving down there, the convoys of police cars. I mean, I've never seen so many police roads, man. It was unbelievable. absolutely unbelievable. But I've forgotten my train of thoughts. Just gone.
No, just with how it is at home. I think the military are going to get involved. The Prime Minister said that the military will be supporting delivering the
yeah, the military is going to be involved anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
The military is going to be involved anyway in delivering food and medicine and taking care of those most at risk.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be a big, it's basically they just say to them, right, now we need to stop this, and that, just to change the orders. The military are already there, man. So don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. They're there, poised, ready to go. All you've got to do is just keep pushing them, keep pushing the boundaries, man, and just see when the gate slams. Yeah. It's stupid.
This is all about military on the streets. Is all about the only way that it'll happen is public opinion. Now, ask yourself what's going to cause a change in the public opinion that would warrant the people on your street to suddenly want troops presence here, make it feel like Northern Ireland in the 80s. What would, it's only stupid idiotic behavior, like you see the Aussies rocking up at Bondi Beach, there's certain things
crazy, man.
Yeah, you do know what I mean, that if we behave like that, the state will react. And you can call it conspiratorial, but actually, it's a rational thing that the state has to do and will do. And I think if we are sensible, then we don't have to goad the state into taking more civil liberties away unnecessarily. Demonstrate we can manage this in a civilized manner,
Yeah.
Like adults, man.
Guys, suggestion. Has everyone got a drink? Is everyone, because I need a top up, guys, and we've been going for about 36 minutes, and I would love to give everyone an interlude break, enough time to go to the bathroom, to go and fix himself a drink, and to go and get re-comfortable by playing a lovely little rendition of a great track played by His Greatness right beside me here.
Oh, for going out loud.
007. Well, he's not allowed to do these things at these times because he'll make too much noise for his neighbours. So, is that okay? Am I right with doing that?
And 00, while you're sat there cringing, could you send me the contact for Vertek and Adam? Because both have requested today, so I might as well do that now whilst we've got a moment, listening to your beautiful voice.
Wonderful. I love how you said that, Noel. His beautiful voice.
For this, Adam.
No, Vertek.
Because Vertek is also Adam.
Have you got a hold of him on? I've sent this Adam. I've sent that Adam there. Your contact details.
Yeah, hey, Rox, I've waved at him on Skype, and I'm waiting for a wave back.
Oh wait, are you?
He's not waving. He's not waving.
Picture. No, I'll send you the other one. Then. Hold on. I sent it on the one that I sent you there. Sorry, guys. We're just going to do this real quick. Let me just. I'm going to send you.
With the majority of my name, or the one that's just a little bit of my name?
I'm going to do the other one as well. I'm just going to send him both. I'm going to send him both. And there we go. Right.
Vertek sent you a
Adam,
Instagram.
You've got it now. Now wave at that guy. Wave at that guy, and Noel will wave back at you. And shout out to all the content makers in the chat room. I see you. I see you. Press 1 if you're a content maker and you're in the chat room. Let all of the other viewers that are new to this know exactly who to follow. So press 1 in the chat room if you're a content maker, because I see you. I'll be seeing you in the chat room. And while everyone's exchanging, I'm going to play this awesome piece of content for everybody. So just hold tight. Hold tight. Here we go. Here we go.
Adam.
About 4 minutes and 27 to get your sharing. Hold on. Let me just remove that for a second. Remove. Banner. Remove.
Adam.
Yes, bro.
Can you give your good lady a squeeze for me? Just say thank you.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Enjoy the tunes. It's good.
Here we go, my darling. I'm going to play this.
And also to the other person, I won't name you because I don't know if you want to, and I don't know. Can't remember if that's your name in thing or not, but you know who you are. Thank you.
All right, my darlings. Enjoy. Get yourself a drink. Pump up the volume. Get into the vibes. Here we go.
Plenty of sinkholes, but they're not. Wait, guys, hold on a minute here. Hey, Richard.
The train walking down your street again, past your door. She don't live there anymore. Years since you've been there. Now you disappeared somewhere. Got your space, found some better place, and it's you. Like the desert's mystery, and it's you. Oh, like the desert's mystery. Could you be there? Always were 2 steps ahead. Everyone walk behind while you were born. At your house, and I can almost hear you shout down to me, where all always used to be. And I miss you, like the desert's mystery. And I miss you, yeah, like the desert's mystery. I found the train, asked why did I come again. I confess, hanging around your old address. Years have moved, I've been nothing since you moved. Long gone, but I kept on, and I miss you. Like the desert's mystery, and I miss you. Yeah, like the desert's mystery. Step off the train, I'm walking down your street again, past your door. 'Cause you don't live there anymore. It's years since you've been there. Now you've disappeared somewhere, like outer space. Found some better place, and I miss you. Like the desert's mystery, and I miss you. Yeah, like the desert's mystery, and I miss you. Oh, like the desert's mystery, and I miss you. Yeah, the desert's mystery. The desert's mystery.
And just because this is a proper break that we're having, like a proper break, I'm going for this.
Plenty of sinkholes, but they're not. Wait, guys, hold on a minute here. Hey, Richard.
Douglas, my old friend, want to talk with you again, because was a vision softly creeping, left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. With the streams I walked along, narrow streets of cobblestone, the halo of a street lamp. I turn my collar to cooling down, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking. People hearing without listening. People writing songs. The voices never share, and no one dared disturb the sound of silence. Who said that you do not know? Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words if I teach you. Take my hands if I might reach you. But my words, like silence, raindrops fell, and the cold in the wells of silence. Full of people bowed and prayed to the neon god DENIER, and the sun flashed out each morning, and the words would keep on spawning, and the sign said the words of the prophets written on the subway walls and terror trolls, and the word and the sound of silence.
Sorry, that was me coughing.
Watching daytime
Sorry.
television.
Well, I don't know about any of you guys, but I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed that, brother. Thank you so much, Rich. I'm telling you. Can we just all give Rich a massive round of applause, please? Because I, for one, freaking thoroughly enjoyed that, brother. Thank you so much. What an awesome, really woke entertainment break that was. That was a, imagine being entertained by a really woke artist like Rich, knowing that the guy that's at least entertaining us knows he's not on a freaking spinning ball. That's a good for starters. Don't you think? Chatroom?
Can I just say,
I'm gonna have to put the comments on the screen, Rich, while you're talking. So bear with me. Go for it, bro. You've got a lot of love.
I just want to say, honestly, I never know what to do. I squirm when I get comments telling me about how talented I am and everything. It makes me squirm a little bit. I don't know how to respond to them really.
Got
What means the most to me, right? What really means the most to me, the compliments, what is the biggest compliment to me is just, man, that made me feel good, or that made me feel, you know, that brought back memories, or that really, you know, that move. What I want is for my music to really get people inside. It's not my music, I mean my rendition of these tunes, to, you know, to get people inside, for it to affect them a little bit and make them feel better or nostalgic or calm, or, you know, I've had people say they listen to my recordings when they've got headaches and stuff, and it takes their headache goes, and, you know, stuff like that. Things like when my customers come up and, you know, they tell, oh, you're so great, you should go on S Factor and whatever. Oh, yeah, thanks. But it's the people that say, man, you made my holiday. Like, we've been here for 2 weeks and we just discovered you last night, man, and you made our entire holiday. You've made up for the, like, it's like, that's what means the most to me, those sort of compliments, because I don't think I'd be doing what I'm doing if I wasn't fairly confident that I'm quite good at it. I know me. I know that if I wasn't confident I was quite good at it, I wouldn't be doing it. Which is why I got upset yesterday when I first tried singing, because I'm used to being able to just go
for it,
and
yeah.
it just comes out and I sing.
Mm.
But yesterday it went. I went,
Oh,
no. It's horrible, man.
well, you got amazing
Anyway,
amount of love in the
thank
chat
you
room,
so much.
I've tried to put
Seriously,
absolutely everyone on the screen. There's a lot of people putting clappy hands, sharing words of appreciation, love, and like what you've just given us. Light and uplifting, amazing. Thank you so much. Definitely
loads
felt
more
it
to
rich.
come.
It
Loads
reminds
more
me
to
of
come.
my
Can I
growth
just
so
say,
much. Yeah, go
me
on.
and Adam are sorry, Vertec, and hopefully Noel's going to get involved in this, and maybe Dave Mordy as well. But we're going to write some original songs. And what me and Vertec were talking about last night was, he's going to lay something down. He's going to send it to me, or he's going to send it to Noel. Noel's going to lay something on it, send it back to Adam. Adam's going to master it, send it to me, and then I'm going to improvise over it.
Yes.
And then
I love that.
then we'll record the improvisation, send it to Adam. He'll master it, and then that track will be available. You know, that track will be available basically from that live stream where I improvise whatever. I'll improvise something over it, and then, you know, so like people can get involved in the building of tunes, the building of songs. We're going to try and write some new songs. I've got some awesome lyrics from the Astral Thief. Absolute. I mean, the guy is a lyrical genius, man, and I'm definitely want to hope he's going to send me some more stuff, because this just flowed off his pen. I think it was on the 14th of March. He wrote it. It just he sent it to me, and I still haven't read it out yet, have I? I read it to you. Do you remember? And I asked him to send it to me in print so I could read it properly. And I was going to read it out, and I never did. So maybe I can do that later. Maybe I'll read that out later. Okay. Yo, Jin CBR, man. I haven't seen you for a little while. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Love it.
I enjoyed that break, Rox. Both I sang along to. The first one was a little bit more in tune with Rich. The second one, I had no chance of getting anywhere near. Respect, mate. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed Rich this afternoon as well.
I premiered one of my gigs last year.
Good.
Sorry?
Good.
I said it was a tough choice to have to end it for the baking. Yeah, this afternoon it was. But no, keep it up, man. I think it's wicked, because there's not a lot out there.
I'm just downloading another live stream from last year, and I'm going to premiere that tomorrow. So
Well, I was going to say, actually, I'm gonna shine a light on what you premiered, because I really do want to put everyone over there to check it out. Even though you've missed the premiere, for the next break, I'm going to give you a little teaser of his premiere, and if you've missed it, you've missed a decent premiere there. So that'll be the next break, because shout out to Music Man. Man said, I hope you have these breaks more often. Great format, great entertainment. Shout out to you, Rich. Shout out to you. So yeah, we will give you guys another break. I yield the floor. That was like, the silence was deafening, guys.
Well, you didn't actually. you didn't set that up. Well, you set us up for a break. Then you actually set us up for a break.
You know what? It's like everyone does want a bit of a feel good factor. I'm not going to lie.
Well, I'll tell you what. Then I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Right. Since it's sort of a little bit dead air, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this thing. This excuse me, from Astral Thief.
Okay.
Excuse me, if that's okay with everybody.
Oh, that's lovely. Go for it. You fire away.
Okay.
There. I will line up the
now.
next
I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it the way I think that this thing should be spat.
Okay.
Over lyrics.
Okay.
Right? Sorry, over some sort of backing track that we're going to come up with. So this is the sort of feel I'm getting for it, and I've not quite sorted it out yet.
Okay.
So I apologise, Astral Thief, if I stumble over the words or whatever.
We'll get to you in the chat room after as well, guys. Don't worry, we haven't forgotten about you in the chat room. Straight after this, we'll get into the chat room.
Do you know what I need? Do you know what I need for it? I'll tell you what I need for it, man. I need a backing beat.
What do you need? Someone to beatbox? I'm sorry. Not trying to throw Noel into it there. I see Noel looking up at me like, you. Why are you trying to bring me into this box?
No, I don't have anything to hand. All right, here we go.
Acapella style, yeah. Acapella.
Good. I was just puckering my lips up, but if you don't want me, that's fine.
Oh, come on, man. If you can beatbox, come on.
Can I shit?
Shout out to Matrix Media and Underground in the chat room, and Cold Still Truth, Jin CBR1, Rachel Pixie as well. Everyone's loving you there. Massive love to you all as well. We'll get into the chat room in a bit. Go, Rich.
Here we go. I'm not moping. I'm hoping for better times. I'm not pining or whining. I've left my pine behind. Now's the time. Be awake and open your eyes. Read from the wise and realize the lies, the disguise, the CGIs, the flips of the scripts and the Mandela effect trips. The TV parrots all read the same shit. We're walking and talking. It's our apocalypse. You think that I'm lying. The truth's a hard hit. We're not in it to win it. We're here to be the change. We're here for one another in these times so strange. The waking up is real. It's a feel, a vibe deal. Respect for your elders, our soul's angelic seal. The tide is fast, it's turning. Attitudes adapt. Your mind's vastly learning. Expansion key fact. No more a slave. I see we want ourselves again. So set us free. This turmoil our lives we reclaim. We know too much. The time is now. The truths are out. Step back and take a bow. You rewrite history amid the strange looks, so the truth will be the truth in our history books.
Yo, I like that. Shout out to the Astral Thief for that. That's some good stuff. That's good. We like that. Shout out to Astral Thief.
I like that. You rewrite history amid the strange looks, so the truth will be the truth in our history books. That is quality, mate.
Yeah, that is. That's juice. That's juice right there. Everyone in the chat room is loving it. Absolutely loving it. Shout out to Vertex. Shout out to Music Man. Cup of Tea, my channel. Lovely. Chris Matt as well. Underground, Flatball. Rachel Pixie. I'm just going to scroll further up because you guys have been interacting loads as well. Love it as well. Tomashino. Riddle Me This as well in the chat room too. Further up the list, we've got Cold Steel Truth, Jin CBR1, Matrix Media as well. Lovely to see you. Christian Kumar in the chat room as well. Ian Adams, lovely to see you. Billy Boy, Martin Liedker as well. Adam Forrest, Ute as well. Further up the list, we've got Jane of Torquay. Look, applauding. She was applauding. Shout out to you, Jane. Lovely lady. Thank you so much for being here. Zepso as well. No?
Is Martin Liedker here because he heard Country Roads playing and he thought it was Last Orders at the bar?
Martin, oi oi. Shout out, Martin. Ninja Man as well. Shout out to you, my darling. Lovely to see you still in the chat room. Kieran Franey in the chat room. Franny. Astro King. Lovely to see you as well. Kieran, I don't want to muller your name, so I'm just going to say Kieran. Martin Leaker, he said, yeah. Yeah, Astro King said great words. Shout out to the Astral Thief for that.
See, Rox.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just going through that. Some great poetry. I was catching up with Dave Mann and Andrea there, heading off in the van to hunker down, and from the van I remember Lisa. Surely we can get Lisa on for a bit of poetry, and we got Martin there. Surely we can have a comedy session as well. We can just have our own. Don't need TV.
Like an open mic. Do an open mic, man.
Yeah. Do you know what? Shout out to Dave Mannell, because he always suggested that. That was a great idea. I remember when Dave Mannell first suggested that with the meetups and that, an open mic session where it's all, just come one, come all. If you know you're not on a ball, really, anything goes.
I'll do some geeky Open University stuff after you close down.
Yeah?
Yeah, just
talk nice. Can we get some flat porn going? Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I love that idea. Shout out to the... Oh. Yeah, Cold Steel Truth said, go on, Adam, get your camera on, you drunken disgrace. Go on.
Oh, I'll put my camera on it. I'm not that drunk yet. What time is
there
it?
He is. Look, there he is. Look, he's real. He's not a bot. He's a real life human being. He doesn't.
There he is, man. Do you know what? I love your hair.
Adam Meekin.
I love your hair, man.
Adam's good.
You're like Jesus Christ. You look like Jesus Christ, dude.
That was
you got Jesus hair there.
That was bold.
I've got what my kids lovingly referred to as my McDonald's head 4 line. It's like the golden
Adam's got fan in the chat room. Sexy.
Yeah, I don't
Work
know
that cam, Adam. Work it.
Yeah, they could have said Monsters Inc. They could have said Monsters Inc.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Adam's got his following in the chat room. I love it. Shout out to Rachel Pixie as well.
I am real. But
look, Rachel said the really woke sounds and comedy show, guys. I like that, Rachel. Shout out to Rachel.
Harvey Weinstein tested positive.
What did True Seeker miss? What did True Seeker miss, guys? A lot. There's a lot's happened in an hour, True Seeker. You might have
True Seeker. Wow, man.
On a rewind.
I mean, we've set the world to rights, dude. We've set the world to rights totally, and you missed it. Sorry, man. Sorry.
Rewind. Hi, Brian. Lovely to see you as well. Data Footprints in the chat room as well. Lovely to see you all. To those that have just joined, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Amanda Panda said, just heard Harvey Weinstein has just tested positive. Another celebrity. What's the chance of that, Roxanne Double? These coincidences are going to get stranger and more curiouser the further we go. I can assure you all, these coincidences are going to get so much to the point where people are going to go, come on, what are the chances? What are the actual chances? Guys, we've been rolling for an hour and 3 minutes. I think it could be in time for a little entertainment break, guys. Might be a little bit of time for a little bit of uplifting, a little bit of uplifting music.
Is it going to be uplifting or emotional?
I like uplifting. You know what? Music is life. And I think it's a lovely way. I've had such a good day with the kids today. I'm in the mood for it. So I'm just hoping everyone else is as well, because this is really Woke Reports. And we're giving you what's going on internationally in an awakened way. We've got Malta on the panel. We've got Tenerife on the panel. We've got England on the panel. Everyone here seems to be okay so far. Everyone in the chat room, give us a 1 if you're doing okay so far. Give us a 2 if you're medal to faring. And give us a 3 if you need help. And if you need help, we will get help to you in the chat room straight away. Thank you. Okay, now I've done that. I'm going to go over to this lovely stream here.
Sorry, if everyone sees me twitching, it's because I'm getting molested by a mosquito.
Oh, there's
raw, major deja vu.
Really?
You either said almost exactly the same thing yesterday,
a few nights
the day before yesterday, or
I think it's the same mosquito.
Oh man,
that was in I'm in a matrix.
Okay, shout out to you all. Go and get yourself a drink, get yourself comfy, raise the volume a little bit, get involved in the vibes. We're going to take you through the motions this evening with Really Woke Reports live. After this, we're going to get into some of the current situations across the international plane, let you know how everything is going on with each retrospective country and what you can expect to happen over the next couple of days. Shout out to you all in the chat room. Thanks everyone on the panel. We'll be back in a few short minutes. Here we go. Hopefully. She says what she's going to do now is do this because she's not really that actually professional. So just bear with me a second. I've got to make sure I'm sharing the audio so you can hear it, or it would be kind of useless. So here we go. That looks like 007. 00, is that you? Right, let's have a little look-see.
That looks like me with a shorter beard.
Oh.
How's the mice?
Nice.
Rachel, they're driving me insane. There's more of them now.
Get yourself comfy, guys. We're going to have a little break now for about 10, 15
Do you know what you need to do?
Yeah.
You need to skip it.
To where?
If this is playing from the beginning, you need to skip it because this goes on for quite some time. The one I'm getting ready at the beginning. Probably take it to about 15 to 20 minutes in.
Right. All right.
You're all right.
I'm all right. I'm all right. How are you all doing in the chat room? You all right in the chat room?
We're live on YouTube tonight, ladies and gents. If you want to have a look on YouTube and search in Live in Colonial Tenerife.
That's it. We're watching live on YouTube now, Rich. That's right.
Can you play Oasis?
Yeah, Oasis. Play some Oasis, Rich.
Yeah. I always react the same way to that request.
Is it two fingers?
Do you know what? I'm going to carry on.
No, it's not. It's one.
Lovely. Let's all have a little boogie.
When the night is come, the land is dark, only light will see. No, I won't be free. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. Darling, don't stand by me. I'm standing by me. You stand by me. Stand by me. The sky, you could find me. Touching your hand for all the mountains. To the sea, I will cry, no, I won't say hello to you, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, don't stand by me, oh, stand by me. You stand by me. Stand by me, stand by me. I play a lot of old classics, right? Because they're all classics, and I tend to play to the audience, and generally the songs what I play seem to be the ones that you lot seem to like. I'm not being ageist or nothing. I like them as well. I'm 42, so. And I know my YouTube audience likes them as well. Like that sunshine, oh, it's cold outside. Well, I guess you say what can make me feel this way. Something about my world. I got so much longing to be with you. I got a sweet song, yeah, like a bird in the trees. Oh, yeah, yeah. I guess you say what can make me feel this way. My world, talking about my world. Not your queen, no money, no fortune or fame. Oh, I've got all the riches, baby, but I'm not the king. Well, yes, you say what can make you feel this way. Talk about my God. Talk about my God. I got sunshine coming through my world. Even got the month to play my world. Talk about my world. Temptations, here we go. You gotta be quick, right? If you've got any requests, I do requests. I like to do requests. So if you've got any requests, you've got to shout them out in between, because I don't like spending much time talking in between my songs. I like to just keep playing, because I'm better at singing than I am at talking.
The National Stalkers theme song.
Every single day, every word you say, every game you play, every night you stay, I'll be watching you. Can't you see you belong to me? I'm a part of ice. Every step you take, every move you make, every vow you break, every smile you fake, every claim you stake, I'll be watching you. Since you're the guy who lost without trace, driven not only see your face. Look around, but you I can't replace. Feel so good and long for your embrace. Keep crying, baby, baby, please. Can't you see you belong to me? Have a heart that aches with every step you take, every move you make, every vow you break, every smile you fake, every claim you stake. I'll be watching you. Every move you make, every step you take, I'll be watching you. I've been 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 watching you. There we go, that's the either piece. National anthem or the Stalkers.
And we'll come back to more 007 when we have our next entertainment break in a short while, maybe about 30 minutes from now. So I hope you all had a nice little break. You've used the bathroom, you've got yourself a nice fresh brew like I did, and got yourself sorted for another round of Really Woke Reports Live. As a few of you have been saying in the chat room, in the last couple of hours, it has been reported that Harvey Weinstein has been put in isolation. He's tested positive and been put in isolation just days after he was moved from Rikers Island to an upstate New York prison to start his 23-year sentence. A source told the Daily Mail on Sunday that he had tested positive and has been quarantined. The Shame producer told prison staff he believed that he had the virus when he entered the state prison system last Wednesday from notorious Rikers Island. Harvey Weinstein is serving a 23-year sentence for rape and sexual assault. Following the news, the accuser, Rose McGowan, wrote on Twitter, "Dear Harvey, in your darkest hour, repent, and in your lightest moment, set yourself free." As we all know, NYC was hit by the nation's largest coronavirus jail outbreak to date this week. And at least 38 people have now tested positive at the notorious Rikers Island and nearby facility. He's going to be isolated at Wendy Correctional Facility in Western New York. It said that he'll be staying there. He'll be staying there for now, apparently. So I'll keep you updated on that. Anyone in the chat room got any further information on that? Greatly appreciated. What's your thoughts, guys? Isn't it funny how he's got it? Winston down the road still hasn't, though.
I think we should place our bets on what day he dies.
Do you reckon he'll kill himself, or will he be
Well,
killed?
I reckon we'll be told he killed himself. I don't know what will happen.
What the chances? Exactly.
We also might get told he succumbed to the illness. So I mean, they've got that easy get out now, haven't they?
It's funny though. He said he believed that he had the virus. Like he said, "Look, Aaron, I think I got it. I got COVID-19, yo. I got it."
So that's the first
man.
time I've heard that said, was just now. The thing with him having it, I heard earlier today, but with him saying that he thought he had it, the first I heard was just now.
Shout out to everyone in the chat room that's aware of this as well. Anyone else on the panel? Adam, 00, what's your thoughts on this?
I was just going to say that's like the opposite of getting taken to jail and shouting, "I will not kill myself. If I get suicided, it's a murder." It's kind of like the opposite, isn't it? I've got COVID. Oh, I might just go down. Send me to the island. I'm off to the island.
Send me. That's how it's coming across, Adam. That's how it's looking. That's how it's looking, guys. What's your thoughts, Double? What are you thinking on this Weinstein situation, bro? Everyone's having a good giggle.
Do you really need to ask me what my thoughts are?
I do. Tommy Rogers, read that comment out. Bro. Read that comment out.
How's it go? I think it goes like this. Surprise, surprise.
Shout out to Tommy. Read his comment out, bro. Can you see the screen, Rich?
Tommy, yeah, it's bullshit. If you were in jail, you'd go to the infirmary. What? Hey, is that the comment you wanted me to read out?
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's obviously bullshit. The protocols that they're using, as Vertex said, he'll obviously be off to join Jeffrey. That's why this is so ludicrous. Just hearing this now. Do you need a blood test for this? That's a good point. Adam, you got any answers for that? Is it a blood test?
I mentioned.
I think what they did was they tested the hard drive of his computer.
I think that's
what they did.
More appropriately said, yes. Adam, does one need a blood test for this? Well, how does one test for this?
The World Health Organization gave a rather rambled statement on, I think it was Friday, kind of saying how they're going to confirm this, that they're going to take people and see if they've got previous antibodies to coronavirus. And again, I'll reiterate the point that we'll all test positive to that. Last year, the year before, when we had a cold, etc. I'm looking to see the solid data that's showing whether it's a kind of monoclonal antibody response, which can be current or is most likely a previous exposure, or what kind of biological fluid testing they're doing that's giving a positive test, not for coronavirus, but for this specific strain that's causing all the concern. So I may be ignorant here, but I've had a little look, but I'm not seeing anything other than people saying we've got something, we should have something. But these are the sort of things that aren't like previous events where one company's got something and we've got it, but we won't talk about or even talk about the specific area in which we've identified something to raise an antibody to it, or whatever mechanism they're using to identify. It's the sort of thing that even if you had a little of an inkling, you'd share that information so that others could maybe quickly follow on that work in different lines of thinking. And so it's very odd that we're not seeing anything other than claims we're going to do something, but with no detail as to the mechanism of which they're going to do it. That seems a little lacking.
Okay, because I mean, for me, I'm seeing numbers rising internationally. I'm seeing the deaths that they're reporting. The numbers are rising massively everywhere. I'm seeing countries reporting ridiculous numbers now, numbers that are just jumping up like by hundreds every day.
Right. So if you were to present now with, and all we've got is a coronal test, but you present with fever and other symptoms of a cold, and they do a temperature test and a corona test, is that what's being assigned as COVID-19? That would be my question, and that's not something I can easily say as to what the answer is. Do you get me? It's
I mean,
there are people being identified in
300, Adam.
You are.
Italy's now saying, the Lombardy region's now saying that it's jumped up by over 300 in a day. Lombardy rises to around 360 in a day.
Yeah, that's just one region, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
the UK
their total death toll
87 from 47, but it's the way they're reporting these numbers. It's like they're doing it on purpose. The way they're doing it, they're releasing the numbers in the way that they're releasing them, so that it does create this. I'm not saying that there's no validity to it, or I can either confirm
the comparisons that they're making, right?
Yeah.
The comparisons that they're making between the UK and Italy, and the progression of the virus within the country. So they're saying that England, it's seeing a much steeper rise in deaths than in Italy, but all the other factors need to be taken into consideration, don't they? With the comparison of that type, like the density of the population, the demographics, you know, what the percentage of at-risk people in Italy. There's a lot of older people in Italy, like, make up a larger percentage of the population, don't they? There are more older people in Italy than they're quite well known for it because of their olive oil, right? So it makes sense that they'd have more people dying, but over here we've got more people. We've got more people in England than they have in Italy, and the age range of people affected in this country is much wider as well. They've got the youngest one being 18 now with underlying health conditions. They've just announced the youngest death to be the 18-year-old. So the comparison isn't fair. I don't think it's a fair comparison to look at that, you know, to then make that graph, because it makes England look like the Sky News reporter idiot. And yeah, I'm talking to you. I think you're an idiot.
They're all talking about flattening that curve now. Right? They're all talking about flattening that curve.
He's going on about, oh, how terrifying! It's terrifying that, you know, the death rates in comparison to Italy at this stage of the virus's progression within this country, from the first reported death or the first reported case to now. It's just not fair. It's like statistics, isn't it? They can twist and they can manipulate statistics to say whatever they want to say. And I remember one of the things when I did journalism at school, not at school, when I did journalism at college, because I did media studies, and part of that, one of the sections was journalism. So we were talking about how to make headlines more dramatic, how to pull information out in order to make it more hard hitting and dramatic, and you know, that was when I was 16, 17 years old in college in '95. We were being taught that. So the way they're reporting it is not fair, man.
Italy's a very different demographic. If you were to just look at the, like I say, population figures, and we're in, I think it's Milan based, isn't it? A lot of the issue area, or but the difference with Italy is a lot of the elderly population is still part of the active population. You apply that to the UK, they're all locked up in homes. They're even the equivalent numbers, they're not part of in the same extent. And that, I think, was the big concern in Italy, that they would be exposed to a greater extent, and that's maybe why that's being reflected in those numbers. It is quite predictable that the demographic there would suffer in a more profound way. Any simulation would kind of show that, if you've pre-run stuff, you know what I mean. That it's obvious that, and that I think will be borne out across all the countries. The way in which the societies function, and interact, there will be big differences in the. And this is a communicable disease if we're following it under standard patterns. So it is about exposure.
Right.
You know, so
I would really, really like to take us back, remove this coronavirus label, replace it with the original common cold virus label that it had. And I'd like to know what the rates of contagion and infection are on a yearly basis over the last 10 years. I'd like to know on a yearly basis what those contagion infection rates are every year, because I remember some years, one year I must have got a cold like every other month. I seemed to be getting a cold, and then the other year I wasn't ill at all. And then, you know, it's I think that we're still the way they've weaponized the common cold by just reasserting its original name, coronavirus or coronaviruses. You know, if we'd always been calling it what it was in the medical dictionary, coronaviruses or a coronavirus, then there wouldn't be any of this hype about this, because it would only be about COVID-19.
I'll be honest with you, Rich. I've only had probably a handful of times in my life, like flu-like illness that's put me flat on my back, like proper, like.
But
wow.
But listen, Rox, that's the thing, right?
If that's the case, if that's what we're minding out for, then I can understand how people with underlying health issues and the vulnerable, because I know that my mum, even when she was approaching 70, she was like staying well away from catching anything like that because she didn't have the strongest immune system in the first place. The things like that would really.
But the thing is, Rox, we're still getting confused with labels, because correct me if I'm wrong, Adam. Influenza is not technically a coronavirus.
I don't know.
You're muted, buddy.
Yeah, Adam, if you're talking, he might have gone to go and get a cup of tea though. We wouldn't know because he's.
Sorry, I'm muted.
Right.
No, you're right, Rich. Yeah, it would be put in a different classification, the influenza virus, right, when discussing.
So,
yeah.
So the only reason people are using the flu is because of the man flu, which is just a coronavirus with particularly heavy symptoms that men seem to suffer. Like men seem to suffer the symptoms of coronavirus worse than women, and that's why men have man flu. I've got the flu, man. Yeah, I feel so bad. I'm just going to sit at home and drink beer and play PlayStation. Right? But the flu is actually. No, you're dying in your bed for 3 days with a temperature of 104. You're shitting everywhere. You're puking everywhere. Days. You get migraine headaches. It's the worst. You want to die. The flu is real, man. And that's why people can and do die from it. But common cold, I don't think a single person alive has ever died from a common cold. And that's what coronaviruses are. Common cold. So that's why I say they've used this, they've weaponized the strain, one of the coronaviruses, they've weaponized that so that they could still blanket it with the coronavirus. And then that way, every single person that gets a cold, not cold or flu, every person that gets a bloody cold, who gets the sniffles, and they get a cough, and they get, they feel a bit achy and run down and horrible and shitty, and their nose won't stop dripping like a tap, and their eyes keep watering, and they just feel gacky and crap, right? They all think that they've got bloody COVID-19.
Does anyone remember something called Shanghai
the symptoms aren't even that. That's what it starts off as, right? That's it. The symptoms for COVID-19 are not symptoms of cold and flu of a cold. Symptoms of COVID-19 are respiratory. It's a breathing thing. It's like you have fevers, and you can't breathe. Isn't it? That's right, isn't it, Adam?
Yeah, let me probably address a few bits. The Shanghai flu, the Chinese flu.
My dad used to call it Shanghai shivers.
Yeah, all of those things come out of the early days of kind of understanding the dissemination of a seasonal virus, as it would be classified. So what you start to see is specification. So like a lot of medics, I don't necessarily see the conspiracy or anything untoward in the initial statement of coronavirus. My only and it first time I heard it, oh, that's a bit generic. It doesn't really mean a great deal other than it's very broad reaching. And that's when coronavirus variant identified in 2019 comes up, which again is of no identification purposes from a microbiological state, but it just specifies it as a specific strain. Now, in the old days where it would be called, like say, the Chinese flu or the Thai flu or all these different ones, what there is now is when these things are picked up, they don't give them such prejudicial tags. They tend to give them things like that where the molecular structures of these things are then shared across the plane. And I think a lot of the stuff is the media's fault. I don't think at any point, even in Wuhan, when this thing was first identified, they called it the coronavirus. However it started, from any professional, you'd be going, I say, even in my very layman's, so I'm a tablet pusher, I'm not a virologist, but even I would, like I said that's a very generic term which isn't of any significance. And as Rich identifies, the only thing you can identify is with the common cold when you want to put it into any relevant historical context.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. Because I, for one, I get a little bit confused as to which is which. And getting things into context is incredibly important for me to understand what I'm trying to deal with. As I said, I've always said from the get-go, I can neither confirm nor deny the validity to what we're being told about COVID-19. I'm not going to push it one way or the other. Obviously, I've given you my personal opinion on it. But the one thing I've stated from the get-go is that this lockdown looks like a self-evident truth. It looks like the lockdown is going to get to everybody's front door. I know that myself and a lot of other people that have been trying to warn people, it's almost like people saying that there's a wave coming, mind out, because it's going to affect everyone. It's going to stop us all from going to work, not just musicians and self-employed people. As on the screen there, McDonald's have said today that it's temporarily closing all of its restaurants. So, what's really baffling me here is if the deep state cabal aren't being hurt by this, then why are they stopped from making money? Everywhere I'm looking, the cabal have been bent over a barrel. Everywhere I'm like, oh, you lot making money? No, you're not making money there neither. Let me see if you lot are making money there. Wait, are you lot making money there? And then I'm going, okay, as I've said on previous live streams, the one thing that we can all say is a self-evident truth is that we've been living in an oppressor's system for an extremely long time. Yeah, so long, in fact, that it's become so heavily ingrained that we've been taken so far away from the truth that it would be a reach to go back there because it's so far away from our reality. All of these false and fake facade band-aids have been put on us for generations, to the point where we don't even know what life's like to not have those band-aids on us. And a lot of our lives are facilitated by those band-aids being on. And in order for that oppressor system to be removed, which is what I think we're witnessing on an international scale, in order for that oppressor system to be removed, then the system that they've used to oppress us with is going to have to be destroyed. So a lot of people, including myself, there's a lot of band-aids getting ripped off right now that are making us go, ow, that's sore. That's painful.
Music Man's made a good point, Rox.
Go for it, bro.
Right, so was working with a client from India only yesterday. He said there that everything there was okay. Have you heard anything about India or Pakistan?
I have. A friend of mine got
Have
a
you
call
heard
from
of
my mother.
single-
Indian said
a single
that-
infection, a single, any outbreak, anything. Has there been any
she
news
told
from
me
India or Pakistan?
that many people were infected, but it's not affecting anyone. Like it spread like across everyone, and just, it hasn't hurt anybody. And
Right.
what she had said is Chinese people don't have any immunity, and Indians have an amazing immunity, which there might be some truth to. I'm not sure. I mean, not no immunity for the Chinese, but they are very insulated from the rest of the world. Whereas, I mean, I've lived in India and Bangladesh, and I don't get most things. The one thing I do get is a cold. I get lots of colds, but everything else I'm pretty good with. And apparently Europe has quite good immune systems because we're so.
Well, we
invaded
actually,
is
Europe,
maybe
it was
the word.
Europe that actually we took the diseases over to Brazil
Right.
and stuff, didn't we? And wiped out half of them with our European diseases.
Mm-hmm.
This is true. This is true. Adam's got a screen up. Show us, Adam. What are you showing us? He's on mute. You're on mute. We can't hear you, darling, but go for it. Fire away. Tell us what you're telling us, Adam, but just take yourself off.
Complete Iron Realm technical incompetence, isn't it, that? Even when I'm not running a show. Yeah, so it was just what you're saying. Look, it's just a bit. I'll shrink the page down a little bit. You can see a bit. Okay, so
like
it's just.
It's very
Is this accessible? Is this accessible to the public? This.
If you can Skype me the link, if you're sharing anything that is public, that can help anyone, then please do, and I'll pop it in the chat room, Adam.
I've posted it in the chat now, the link, so it's there. It's just a quick little chart, just a little look at the differences of COVID, the cold, and flu. And I won't bore you. I think incubation is probably onset is probably more the point is gradual with a cold, and that's why flu's on is abrupt. Then we go down to the main ones at the bottom. I'll leave you people to look at, but it's just quite a useful little thing for you to look at.
Great.
Lots of similarities between the two, but they're all distinct if you see the differences. The point here isn't necessarily for you to, in this time, for you to positively diagnose. I don't think, unless you're really presenting with these symptoms here, at the bottom, this shortness of breath, respiratory issues, then it's hard, isn't it, with the others, the fever, the cough, runny nose, congestion, diarrhea spelled incorrectly, body aches, sore throat, headache. Those are all, very vague. These are the ones we need to be concerned about, the shortness of respiratory, and you're going to be asked to self-isolate, and realistically, unless you start with these and they're of concern, as they say, most people just pass through it without even knowing it. These don't become an issue, these bottom ones. So it's going to be hard, really, to distinguish between the COVID and the cold. What is very simple distinguish, I suppose, is the abruptness and the complete. The flu is very, very debilitating. And if you've had the flu, you've had it. Rich alluded to man flu earlier, and that is a misnomer. Once again, is a cold. And it's, but technically, within the male structure, there are certain things that do occur that require us to get extra special care. Because of that, we are more susceptible to this man flu. Require extra cups of tea, additional biscuit.
Very important.
These are biological facts, Rox. I can't change
an extra pillow.
I'm sorry, I have to concur.
More than 1/4 of the bed.
But yeah.
Will man flu affect my 12-year-old son? Will my son think he's got man flu? Is he old enough to get man flu? Is there such a thing? Because this is my first boy, obviously, my first and last. I've only got a teenage daughter. I've never done the teenage boy thing.
Has he had a cold where he's milked it yet? Has he milked a common cold yet?
He has.
He's got He's got man boy flu.
Yeah, he's probably
man boy
suffered
flu.
without you knowing, Rox. He's probably gone through it and you've missed it. Poor lad. He's a brave soldier, isn't he? Look, you don't even know him. Poor lad.
Actually, where you're a chemist, I could ask you this, right? Every morning he gets up, and this is something that Jessica never used to do. When he gets up in the morning, he is like his knees and it's like he's got arthritis when he wakes up in the morning. It's like he's so stiff he can't move. What's good with that? What
olive oil.
Doing?
Olive oil. Yeah,
I feel like
olive oil.
I feel like everyone's going to have all the answers.
Odd questions.
After an hour, he kind of just can't like move his ankles properly and his knees. His knees and ankles mainly seem to be the problem. But then again, he does seem to be growing at an alarming rate. When I mean an alarming rate, I bought him. He's 12. I bought him trousers for a 14-year-old. I've got to put the button. You know the elastic button where you adjust the button and make the button go to the next button, so it makes the elastic tight around the waist. I had to put it on the tightest setting because he's quite thin, and he had a 14-year-old's trousers because of the length of his legs. And like I'm not exaggerating this, within a month, 3 weeks later, they were like swingers on him.
Rox,
he's like,
I'm not joking, right? He sounds just like me when I was a kid. So it's just like me when I was a kid, and my mum made me take olive oil. I used to take olive oil capsules every day, and basically that it did help me. I remember that I had really achy joints and stuff when I was a kid, and I was growing really fast.
What do you do when your son won't do that though? He will not be taking oil caps.
Well, you hold him down, right? You grab you pin his nose like this.
He's not going to have a bar of that, Rich. He's going to phone Childline if I do that. Literally, this is Britain. This is Britain. He'll get me arrested for doing something like that. So, what does a parent do? What is all that about then? Have you heard anyone saying that before? I mean, what's good with that?
I think I remember that. It's called in the olden days. It used to be called growing pains.
Growing pains,
and the reality is,
the girls get growing pains. I didn't have them. Shout out to Rachel. She said her son's the same.
Marks.
Okay, girls don't get growing pains.
I think it's raining.
Mate, Rox, what I would say is, unless it's something that's recurrent throughout the day and becomes a thing, it's nothing to worry about other than maybe just an extra biscuit.
He eats. Listen, he's got hollow legs already. He eats me out of house and home. I cannot keep up with him. He's got a massive appetite and he barely puts on any weight. Then he's always on the go. He's forever out in the garden playing basketball.
Hold one back and then give it him as the extra biscuit is what I mean. Okay. I think that might be all it is.
Cool.
But technically, when he goes to bed at this age, when they are growing like that, when he goes to bed and lays down and doesn't move for long periods, technically he is slightly a different shape when he wakes up and starts to move again. Because they are growing. It's only microscopically, but they are slightly different. 8 to 10 hours. If you think about the rate of growth, the way they go through little spurts, there are phases where they might feel a little bit not themselves. So, like I say, unless it's something that is continuing into the day, or continues for a prolonged period, then I wouldn't worry.
What's this I'm looking at, guys?
Yeah, that's a similar one, isn't it?
What's this? Shout out to Astro. I'm just showing it right now, darling. What is this I'm looking at? Can you explain it to me, please?
It's the same thing.
Well, they're raining.
So what is this? So COVID-19 compared to other common conditions. So all the other common conditions are there: the common cold, the flu, the allergies, and then all the symptoms are there. So there we can clearly see, what ones are kind of similar than the other ones. So
I would disagree with some of it fundamentally. If you look at the flu one, shortness of breath, no. Well, I disagree with that. That's probably one of the. It's not sometimes. I remember being knackered trying to turn over in bed with the flu. So I don't know where that one's from. The one I said I didn't research it. Mine was from.
Sorry,
Medical News Today. I don't
actually. Do you know what, Adam? I thought about that. The description of shortness of breath. I don't think it's I know what you're saying. You know, when like I remember when I had the flu, and you've just got no energy, and so when you put in it, when you try to do anything, it's exhausting, and you're short of breath like that. But I think this is
this is full
when you
shortness
breathe
as
in,
well.
and
Yeah, this is what's due to the
you
available
can't do it
oxygen.
without coughing your lungs up, and it's
this is probably more pneumonia as well when you're leading to that, and this I suppose is the one they're scared of. This is the one that requires the support that you can't manage at home. And that's what I was saying earlier. If you're presenting with any of that sort of symptoms, irrespective of whether you think it's flu or not, then that's when you press the extra button, even if you've been told to go home and self-isolate. Lovely. And I know, like we said, there are lots of ambulance chasers, but there are lots of people that will just take the first bit of advice and be very stiff upper lip and suffer it a bit. If you're presenting with these, say, any form of respiratory symptoms that are out the ordinary, just ring.
Thank you.
That's the most fundamental advice. I think we that chart's there, and you can go through it and discuss it. And but I think, like I say, if in doubt, ring. That's what the lines are there for. And like I said, there are cases coming in, and it's been rare early on, but we are seeing stuff coming in now, and I've heard of bits and bobs. So my concern is, if in doubt, ask for advice. Don't refer to that chart. It's interesting if we're sitting here chatting, but it's not something. If you're suffering any of the symptoms that you should use as a decider to pick up the phone, just pick the bloody phone up.
I've had this from Astro King. Shout out to Astro King. I'm just going to read this in case anyone can't read it properly. And Adam, if I could have your thoughts on this at the end, because it's going around. It's being sent around quite a bit, so I'm just going to read through it as quickly as possible. A Japanese doctor offers excellent advice on preventing COVID-19. New coronavirus may not show symptoms for several days, 14 to 27 days. How can one know if a person is infected? By the time he has a fever or a cough and goes to the lung hospital, the patient may have 50% fibrosis, and then it's too late. Taiwanese experts provide simple self-monitoring that we can do every morning. Take a deep breath and hold your breath for more than 10 seconds. If you do this successfully without coughing and without difficulty, without anxiety or chest tightness, it shows that you do not have fibrosis and generally indicate no infection. Check yourself every morning in a fresh air environment. The Japanese physician treating COVID-19 provides the best advice on preventing this. Everyone should make sure the mouth and throat are always moist. Drink some water every 15 minutes. Why not? Even if the virus gets into your mouth, drinking water or other fluids will help wash it down the esophagus into the stomach. When the virus is in the stomach, the hydrochloric acid in your stomach will kill the germs. If you do not drink enough water regularly, the virus can enter the airways and into your lungs, which is very dangerous to get. Adam, can you respond to that for me so we can have some balanced opposing views on that? Is there anything there? Good, bad? Can you, because I don't want to give this one side. I want us to try and be as fair. In your opinion, was there anything there that was like not okay, or what would you say about that?
I'll have to take it paragraph by paragraph.
What about the taking a deep breath and holding it in for 10 seconds?
I'll
and then
come to that. First one, the fibrosis issue. Yeah, that's being reported in terms of, I was chatting with Riley today about it and looking at it. And this is, this is not my day job, guys, first and foremost.
Understood.
This, you know what I mean? In terms of pathology and disease progression, it's not what I do. But what I saw there is, if you do get it, what they're saying in these sorts of cases with, it's not like what Riley's dog had. idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. This is known cause, you know, and it's caused by the inflammation, the swelling, and the rupturing caused by the pathogen. So, and what they're saying is, you know, hopefully after that there will be residual scarring left, which will have some lung impairment knock on, depending on how much damage is done.
Right.
So when I say and then it's too late, I think that's a little bit scary.
Yeah. Good. Okay.
Take a deep breath and hold. Yeah, that's something I've heard from the start, and it's not bad advice. If you can't do that, I'd go to the doctors anyway. Right. Is what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. You'd say that's pretty average for everyone to be able to do that, and maybe if not, if you can't, obviously the GPs are pretty overrun and whatnot, so maybe just seek some medical attention if
take
you're not.
Your medical hat off, Rox.
Yeah.
And a year ago, if I'd have said to you, Rox, if you can you hold your breath for more than 10 seconds without coughing and spluttering?
I would expect.
And I'd have said no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know,
totally.
Put that in context. It's not a particularly fantastic diagnostic tool, but if you can't do that, you should go to the doctors. Certainly, if though you start to feel a little bit fluey and then you're finding, actually, that's a bit, then so far, just put them back because there was a bit.
Oh yeah, sorry.
There was a bit.
Sorry.
I'm a geek, Rox.
Not a problem. Hold on, I'll get it back. Don't worry.
Very cool geek, dude.
Let me just get it back. Let me get it back. Here we go. Here we
There
go.
probably isn't another point now.
There we go. No.
Oh yeah, there was. Yeah. So everyone should make sure they wash. Okay, lovely. I don't disagree. If you were to pick up the coronavirus, licking your fingers, putting it in your mouth, lovely. That does not preclude the nasal cavities, the eyes. But what I would agree with is that drinking lots of water at this time it's a fantastic thing. I always encourage it. It will clear the esophagus and the mouth of anything you might pick up, which is not a bad thing. But lots of good hydration will also be a fantastic support to your immune system. So not bad advice either.
Good. Well, shout out to Astro King for sharing that image with me. So I thought I would share that with all of you. Stop sharing that just there. So that's us back on the screen again. And now we've been going for almost 2 hours. So it brings me to the joyous, momentous moment where I get to say to you all, I'm going to give you all a fantastic entertainment break to occupy you for about 10 minutes so that I can make myself a lovely, fresh cup of tea and get myself all nice and settled to get tucked into another half an hour of going into some more red pill talk for Really Woke Reports Live. Now, before I do that, we've got a shout out in the chat room incoming for you all. I'm going to get into the chat room and give you all a shout out. And then we're going to switch over and let you all listen to the awesome sounds of 007 live in the Colonel, Tenerife. So here I'm going to jump into the chat room. Give you all a shout out to Colonial. Sorry, Colonial. All right, Colonial. Sorry, Lunderground in the chat room. YouTube in the chat room as well. Ninja Man in the chat room. Alfie Patchin in the chat room as well. Lovely to see you going back and forth. Hydro, Rachel Pixie, Flat Phrase, Magic, Adam Forrest in the chat room too. Dave Poole in the chat room. Lovely to see you. Alfie Patching still in the chat room. Awesome. Mark Sargent in the chat room. Cough, cough. Mr. Mark Sargent, cough, cough. Okay, someone call him some medical attention. I think he's got some symptoms in there. Shout out to you. Further up the list, we've got Billy Boy as well. Shout out to you as well, my darling. And there's Astro King, Jin CBR1 in the chat room too. Shout out to each and every one of you. Phil Jones as well in the chat room. Lovely to see you as well. Christian Kumar, Reverend Hull, Amanda Panda. Great to see you all in the chat room. Pat Riot too. Why does that happen? Tree Poet, lovely to see you in the chat room. Hope you're doing well. True Seeker as well in the chat room. Lovely to see you too. And to anyone else that wants to shout out or has something to say right now while I'm in the chat room giving everyone a shout out, jump in there. I'm happy to give you a shout out right now before we go to a break. Christian Kumar as well. Shout out to you again, my darling. And to Dagon Morningstar, shout out to you as well. Hot chocolate, juice, whatever tickles your fancy, Adam. pick whatever you want. Alfie Catchin, shout out to you as well, my darling. Yeah, I'm going to flick us over to 007.
Tree Poet.
Screen. Tree Poet, shout out.
Tree Poet, shout out to you, dude.
Yeah. Here we go with some sounds of the 007.
It's Friday night, isn't it? We should. Hey, 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 hey! Won't you could see me? I'll be alone, dancing in your baby. Tell me your troubles and doubts. Give me everything inside, out and there. Love strange, so real in the dark. Ain't good tender things. I'm so changed, was hard. With the light to your heart, baby. Don't you forget about me. Don't you forget about me. Oh, stand above me. Look my way and never love me. The rain keeps falling, keeps falling down. Will you recognize me? Call my name or call my name. Rain keeps falling, rain keeps falling down. Hey, 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 hey! Don't you try to pretend it's my feeling. We'll win in the end. I'll walk on you to your fences. Vanity and security. Oh, don't you forget about me. I'll be alone, dancing in the baby. Going to take you apart. I put us back together apart, baby. Don't you forget about me. Don't you forget about me. As you walk on by, will you call my name? As you walk on by, will you call my name? Will you walk away? Will you walk away? Will you walk on by? Come on, call my name. Will you call my name? Do you know this bit? Come on. Let's hear it. I said la 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 call my name. Did you walk on by? Oh, will you call my name? There we go, the simple minded. Thank you very much. I just want to take off this big old leather jacket. It's funny how once you're acclimatized, 23, 24 degrees seems quite cold. Do you like 1980s songs? Would you want 1960s songs? You fill up my senses, my thoughts. Pick the mountains in springtime, walk in the rain, storm in the desert, sleep in the ocean. Pick up my senses and feel me again. Come let me love you. Let me give my love to you. Let me drown in your laughter. Let me die in your arms. Let me beside you too. Let me always be with you. Come let me love you. Love me the light of the thoughts, the mountains in springtime, walking in the rain, like a storm together, like a sleepy ocean. You feel that my senses. Mr. John, you don't realise in that 60s, right? Was that 60s or 70s? No, I wasn't born. That's all I know. All right. Look. The Sound of Silence, when was that written? Both said that was 1969. But I know it was redone recently by Disturbed. Darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and a vision this planet and my brain still remains within the sound of silence. Restless dreams don't know. Narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp, I turn my collar to the cooling down. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night, just the sound of silence. And naked night I saw 10,000 people leaving more. People talking without speaking. People hearing without listening. People writing songs. Long voices never share. And no one dare disturb the sound of silence. Silence like a cancer grows. What I teach you. Shut my eyes and I read you. Look my words, like silence, breathe my sweat. And the golden bells of silence. People bow and pray to the new God we made. And the signs flashed out each morning. And the words you give was falling. And the silence and the words of the prophets heard to the subway walks and Shannon told and whispered of silence.
Love it. Thank you for that, brother. Much appreciated. Again, lovely vibes from 007. Shout out to all of the people in the chat room showing massive amounts of love. I made myself a cup of tea.
I'm sorry it was the same song again and not a different one. I wish it had been a different one. I want a different one that you hadn't heard yet. That would have been nicer. One that you hadn't heard yet. Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's my naff editing. Not editing. What's the word I'm looking for?
That wasn't your naff. That wasn't your fault, Rox. That was that. You're just all you did was just press play again. That was my choice. That was my set list that night. That was. I should go back in time and go and scold myself.
I'm sorry, guys. I really am. I hope you've managed to make a nice little drink and get yourself comfortable again. Massive shout out to you all in the chat room. Music Man, Riddle Me This, Billy Boy, Ian Adams, Christian, Vertec, Pat Riot as well. Who else was there as well? Alfie as well. And who else did I see there? Underground and Reverend Hole too. Really lovely interactions in the chat room. Super, super nice. I'm going to have a bite of this banana cake because it's really nice. Shout out to the kids on that one. Hi, Raymond B. Jane of Torquay.
I'm doing the same, Rox. I'm just clearing up. We had our first barbecue of the year. It was so nice. I had to cook some meat outdoors today.
So you had a barbecue? Because that's what I was asking everyone in the chat room. What did everyone do with their day? That was good. Barbecue.
I was in the garden. I said I'd Rich on, and then baking me, and then pottering in the garden, tidying up. You know, the post-winter tidy up. So yeah, got that, and yeah, just I don't know. Marie's decided. Normally, I have to like get to April and start saying, "Should we have a barbecue? We should have a barbecue." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no. So yeah, we had our first barbecue, and to be fair, Leo did most of it.
Well, with the kids being off, Adam, it's really weird, actually, isn't it? It's just like it's all now. Right now, everyone's off now. Just now. Your boys are off as well, right?
It's like it's the summer holidays come early.
Yeah, like the Easter holidays were on the horizon anyway, but it's like it's indefinite for us. We haven't been given a date for the kids to go back, have you?
No. All you're hearing is September. Well, okay. So
it's March.
All we've said is, if you could think that you're starting to have bedtimes like we'll let you have when it's school holidays, got another thing coming. That's about all we've worked out so far.
Shout out to the chat room if you've got kids. Let us know what the situation is for you too, because I want to know I'm not on my own here. To think of having to entertain the kids at home for 3 months. We're going to be doing
what you have to do is find ways for them to entertain themselves.
In 4 walls. Oh my goodness. For a boy like my son, it's not going to be funny. Like, I don't know
Has
if
he tried artwork?
Will be only
has he tried
by the end of this?
Rox, being serious, has he ever tried drawing? Has he ever tried artwork?
Do you know what? If I could get him to sit down for long enough, like the only time I can get him to sit down for long enough is when he plays computer games.
That's what it needs to, because the thing is, I hate to. No, do you know what? I'm not going to suggest it. I'm not going to talk that into reality. No. No, the Xbox will last forever. It will last forever. That is a magic Xbox. There you go. That's a magic Xbox. That's going to last for the rest of his life.
He likes to go out and play with his friends. He likes to go out and play football. And they're saying, like, if you can't keep 2 meters away and you can't adhere to that, they're just going to clamp down even further. So if I'm not careful, he's not even going to be able to go out and play with his friends at a safe distance soon. I don't know what to do about that. That's alarming me, because if I have to keep him in and not let my kids out, what does one do then? Any helpful advice, anyone?
No, mine just want to go out now.
That's all mine want to do.
It's like you're taking the mick. You never go out. You just want to play on your Xbox. Suddenly, you want to go out on your skateboard again. It might have been the sunshine. I don't know, but
but that's the whole wanting what you can't have, isn't it?
It hit my daughter like a locomotive. She was just going to go to her mate's house, and it was only when me and the other mums went no. She went, "What do you mean no? What do you mean you can't go to each other's house? That was the only reason any of this was cool." It's not really going to be.
The thing is, Rox, when the reality of that sets in, right? I remember when I was a kid, one of the things that really I loved computer games. I still love computer games. When I was a kid, one of the things that really, really interested me and I got a lot of pleasure from was artwork, like fantasy artwork.
Right.
It's the artwork that all of the graphics are based on. You know, it's because before the graphics, before they design the game, they have an artist do all the graphics first, you know, to get an idea of what this game is going to look like. And that sort of artwork, those sort of graphics used to fascinate me, and I would want to try and emulate that in my own artwork when I was trying to do that. And if you're in a situation where you're in the house 24 hours a day, and let's say that Jess wants to use the Xbox for 4 hours or whatever, and he's pulling his hair out, then maybe go, if there's still access online and stuff, go and explore things like the origins of games, where, and the artwork, and maybe even the literature that some of the characters are based on, the type of characters that they're based on. Because I think it would be important to get kids back into reading books. I used to read books I used to go through books like they were biscuits when I was younger, because it was like a movie in your head. I used to just love the thought of being able to go and sit under a tree and read a book and disappear into David Gemmell's world, where I'd be Druss or one of the characters in one of David Gemmell's books. And I think this is an excellent time to introduce kids back to literature.
Yeah. Good point, Rich. Really good point. What are you going to say? Were you going to say something, Adam?
Well, other than we've always encouraged the boys to read, so they do so anyway. But that was my mate. I was Doctor Who books. I used to just do exactly that. It was proper cinema in your mind.
Just eat through them, don't you?
Yeah.
And you get sad when you got to the end of one. I used to eke it out when I got to the last sort of 50 pages or something. It'd be like, oh man, like, oh, if I'm not careful, I'm going to finish this book soon. And it's like, I remember when I finished Dean Koontz' Odd Thomas, and I eked it out, and I just read like 2 pages a day so that I could, keep it going for as long as possible. And then when it finished, I cried, mate. I was so upset. I actually got emotionally upset because of the characters in the book, and because I was so immersed in that book, man. So immersed in that book, which is funny because it's Dean Koontz who obviously did The Eyes of Darkness, 1981, mentioning Wuhan 400.
Rox, today, just in terms of DJ,
it
was weird. I went, so you should talk to me more, to the kids and that, because they were going, I'm waiting for this delivery from Amazon, waiting for this delivery. And he's bought he's ordered, and it still hasn't arrived, one of these pens that you can draw on for your computer. So to do art, but it's like a little slab tablet, and then you've got a little pen. I'd bought one off the auctions, so I said, I can't believe it. So I've gave it, and Artie spent good 3 or 4 hours doing just some wicked freestyling graffiti, and it looks awesome. But it's all freehand. It's not like what I do with Photoshop. It's all, but it's just the pen on the screen and a pen on the board, and it appears on the screen, same as your mouse, but it's so much easier and more detailed.
I remember when I was at school, and I was doing, because I did graphic design and art at school. So we went to this, I think we went to Vodafone or somewhere like that, and they had these really, at the time, really powerful computers, and they had these pens with it, with a pad, and it was a pen. This is back in the 90s, man. And it was amazing. It was like you could airbrush your picture. They were airbrushing pictures and stuff with this pen. So it sounds like that, like the modern day version of that's now available to to Joe Public. But I remember back then when they were talking about it, how many millions the cost, the software had cost, and the pad cost like £26,000 or something. It was crazy.
These are like 30 quid, Rocks, and plug and play.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Our times have changed.
They have changed. They have. Shout out to everyone putting bits and pieces in the chat room about what they're looking into and books that they like as well. I'm going to have a look into a few of them. I'm really pleased for some of the people that can have their kids going and doing play dates with their other friends and that, because it's not the case here in London. They don't want people doing it. Go on, Rich.
one of the things I thought just totally like, hey, why not, man? Just for a laugh. One of the things that both of us quite enjoy quite a lot is it's like the different accents and such, like, you know, putting on a different regional accents and whatnot. So maybe, you know, one day we could do like a whole show where we're from somewhere completely different, and then when people come in, maybe we get new people in, and these new people, the new people think that the 007 is somewhere down in the south, you know, in the south. Somewhere in America, and maybe you're Scottish or something.
That's true. All right, I'll be down. I'll be definitely up for doing a live stream in an accent and see if I can hold it down.
I don't know if I can keep it going for the whole stream.
I can keep it going for the whole stream though. That's the thing.
That's what I just said. Hey, Jinx.
Snap. Snappity snap.
Scottish is cheating though, Rox, for you.
It's really easy.
Yeah, Scottish is cheating for you.
For a week. I could probably do that indefinitely, actually, if I had to. I could get rid of the English
I
accent.
think, do you know what, Scott?
In fact,
do you know what, Rox?
Little do you know.
There's a little bit of me. There's a little bit of me, babe, that thinks that you are actually really Scottish and all of this is an act.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. The English accent's actually the act. And those of you that have paid attention to my accent, you'll notice when I've got it horribly wrong. Because it's
Come on. Give us a wee bit of the Scottish. Go on.
No. Do you know what?
Oh, come on, Rox.
Now I'm going to put
it's so banging. It's like
I can just bring the camera off myself.
It's so banging. It's spot on, man. She does the best Scottish accent I've ever heard from anyone that's not actually Scottish and living in Scotland. But she has got a surname Glenn, so there we go. That just makes it like you know, inevitable that she's going to have the great. Huh?
It's bro.
It's what?
Bro.
Yeah,
which is good.
Nice.
Adam.
Oh, it's raw.
No, bro.
1, 2
what's
on your flute and your ut, Rox. Oh, good one, Vertex.
I'm tooting your flute and your ut.
I was determined to see. I can't do it to order. I've never really been able to do it. Like when someone.
You are so full of shit. She's lying. She's bloody lying. Don't listen to her.
It's the wee error.
Do it on.
So I'm not going
there we go.
That's my more or less upmarket one I've done for you tonight. Sounds a little bit like Lorraine Kelly, somewhat. A little bit Lorraine Kelly. Somewhat up.
You're way sexier than the Lorraine Kelly.
Heating up my own arse momentarily. Yes, it's it's just gone 12:30 and it's approaching the wee hours of the morning. We've been going for about 2.5 hours now. Shout out to everyone in the chat room there. And Rich for putting me on the spot like this. So I've been talking like this, like
that's really tough.
Listen, babe. She's like
that. I could just talk like that, Mary doll.
That's exactly like I did when I was like 20.
Go on your sale.
Give us a Rabsy Nesbitt.
Sale, Rich. Go on your sale. No, blow it out yours.
Hey, Noel's quite good as well, isn't he?
He is.
Noel's got
doing some accents as well.
Oh, not on the spot. Yeah, sorry, no, sorry, I forgot. Sorry. Sorry, man.
On the spot. We can't get him like that.
Can't just put him on the spot like that, man.
We've got to slip into the live. We've got to slip into it. He's got to just think he's backstage and have to slip into it. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to you, Rich, for putting me on the spot there. Love you for that, bro. Absolutely love you for that. It's just bare love everywhere. We watched a movie the other day, and Noel, you seem to remember watching this movie at some point in your life. I do remember you saying, and shout out to anybody in the chat room that's ever watched the movie White Squall. Adam, have you ever watched the movie White Squall?
No, I was with you.
I'm glad you put this on
it as well.
Really? I feel
pronunciation. I didn't know White Squall, Square. What? Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the trailer because I can do that. That's not a problem. I can play the trailer. Because it's not even like an official, like horrendous, like official thing. Go on, carry on talking amongst yourselves. I'm going to play the trailer.
Can I just say?
Yeah, go for it.
Adam, did you say you didn't want to just say what you said again?
Go on. Go on yourself.
See what you said again, sir.
The other day in chat, I'll probably try and explain it, but the other day in chat, there was a bit of debate about what the film title was, and I heard of no pronunciation. White Squaw School, wasn't it? White School.
White Squall.
Oh,
Squall. It's a squall, sir.
But nothing resonated with me, unfortunately.
Right,
none of them.
Allow me to share my screen and play you with
because
a
what I
small
thought you were going.
clip. Go for it. Double. Go for it.
I was just going to say what I thought you were going to say was that you had no interest in watching it because it was about a silly sailing thing about a bunch of idiots in the just going on the sailing trip and whatever. I thought that maybe that's just because that's where my head was about it when it came out. I was like, what do I want to watch? A bunch of blooming jocks.
Spoiler alert there. That was not a spoiler alert by Rich, by the way.
Ivy League jocks.
Yeah, we're gonna just show them a clip and then give our ethos on it. Is that all right, bro? Is that okay?
Yeah. I
don't want us to spoil it for them.
You've intrigued me, Rich, because I've got 4 Ivy League jocks on a boat now. See,
Good.
I've got more interest.
More than before.
Here we go.
The ship beneath you is not a toy. Sailing's not a game.
So why the hell do it?
Bill's character, Mr. Preston, of which you are in desperately short supply.
They came from different places.
And this Ocean Academy isn't recognized as accredited.
It'll be a good thing, Dad.
They sailed for different reasons.
I don't want to be what I was when I left.
There you go.
Anonymous.
But there was only one way.
We'll do it together.
I can't.
Climb!
To survive on his ship.
I will challenge them, and they will come together.
Become a team.
Where we go one, we go all.
Because where he was taking them.
What are they doing?
Claiming their place in the world.
Could not be measured in miles. They thought they had survived the greatest challenge of their lives.
We had come through every kind of seas imaginable.
Except a white squall.
But it was only
White squalls are a phenomenon of the imagination.
the calm.
What happened to my ship was not imagined.
Before the storm. Largo Entertainment presents a film about royalty.
Where we go one,
We go all.
Discovery.
But we're a crew.
That's what this whole thing is about.
And courage.
Don't you walk out of this, Skipper, you don't!
Captain, they're only boys.
We listened to you, we believed you!
they're much more than that, sir.
And we are still here!
Jeff Bridges in a Ridley Scott film. White Squall. Based on a true story.
Yeah, I definitely remember watching that, and I see what you're saying now.
So when it came out, I remember when it came out, and I remember thinking, oh, it's a silly feel-good movie about a bunch of Ivy League idiots that are, going on this thing. I said to Rox when we watched it, because me and Rox sat down and we watched it. When was that? Yesterday? Day before yesterday? We started watching it a little while ago, and then we finished watching it. And I said to Rox, like, this really resonates with me, because when I was about 14, 15, I went on a sailing trip around the south of England on this big schooner. And there were like me and 5 of my mates, my schoolmates, and this girl that I was in love with. And, it was like a little Hollywood movie, man, in my head, this little boat trip. So, and we didn't get hit any white squalls and nobody died. It wasn't anything like that. But sailing a yacht is not an easy task, and you need a good skipper, and you need to listen to the skipper, and you need to all work as a team and working when you're bringing the sails in and when you jib and all of that. It's all you've got to work as a really tight team, otherwise accidents happen and people get hurt or they get knocked overboard, or and watching it with Roxanne this time, because it was mentioned in the, because Q mentioned it basically and said, look, pay attention, watch it, because it really does, it has relevance to now.
Yeah, he said it's relevant
and
now. Yeah,
it's relevant now. So we watched it with that in mind, and that gave a whole new perception. Of course, it was linked in with the where we go one, we go all. And the most interesting thing for me was that when we were watching it, people died, obviously, spoiler alert, people died. Rox was in tears. Bless her. She couldn't hold it in because it was very emotional.
I was a hot mess.
Very, like,
I was a hot emotional baggage of distressed
I'm sat
mess.
there. I'm sat there like, man, this is really sad. But yeah, kind of knew they were going to die. I got most upset when there were. Can I spoiler alert? This is a spoiler alert.
Ooh,
you haven't seen
that's
the film.
Naughty. I don't know if you can spoiler alert it, man.
Well,
a little bit.
So, I got upset with the dolphin. The dolphin scene really upset
That did get me as well because it's not just a fish. It's not a fish. Is a dolphin a fish?
It's not just a fish, and I think it was a little bit gratuitous.
Chatroom, is a dolphin a fish?
Personally,
it's a rapey
I
mammal.
think it was gratuitous. I think it was gratuitous. I think it really played on the heartstrings of anybody that's emotional and feels emotional about intelligent animals, particularly mammals. Now, the place where I was a hot mess, man.
Rapey mammals.
I'll say it. I sat there and I had tears streaming down my face. Right, I wasn't sobbing, but the tears were streaming down my face, and I could not stop them. And it was at the end. It was the end bit. It was the whole crescendo of the court scene at the end. So I'm not going to spoil it what happens, but what happens there, when that happened, man, that I couldn't stop it then, because that's what gets me is real loyalty, real, that was real. Where we go one, we go all.
Yeah.
No, that brought me to tears, man.
I just realized something I wanted to do is just not realistic, right? But I'm going to shout out everyone in the chat room. If you want to watch this movie that I've just mentioned in the chat room, I'm going to give you the link right now so that after this stream, you can get all tucked up and you can watch this movie I'm going to suggest to you all right now.
Do you know,
Capricorn 1?
Can I say something else?
On John 4's channel. Shout out to John 4 because he has got the whole movie on his channel. I'm sharing that link for you all in the chat room right now. But if you go to John 4's channel and scroll down 2 years ago, and guess what the date was? No, you're not going to believe this, guys. Right? The date was the 17th of September. They uploaded
17/9.
Yeah. No, it's 2018.
I got Capricorn 1.
No, sorry. Yeah, you're not going to get the full link for what we just showed you. You can't get White at School on YouTube. You're going to have to go to those dodgy sites. Shout out to everyone that paid attention to the link I shared the other day. If you were smart, you would have known.
Yeah, there's a link there.
I'm not.
Can I say one more? Can I just say one more thing about that White School? Because I thought about it and I wanted to say it before. So one of the things that put me off watching it originally was in the trailer, you can see quite clearly the effects aren't great.
Trueless, but it's a true story.
There wasn't a huge amount of money spent on the effects, right?
Yeah.
But when me and Rox, I commented on it while we were watching it, and I said like the thing is though, it kind of doesn't matter because the story, what's happening, and the acting is spot on, and it's really, really good acting in that film. And I also commented on where those lads would have drawn those emotions from, because the lads, the emotional scenes that the lads they portrayed, they were extremely good. They were very well done, and they were taken from a very real place. So it's a little bit unnerving to think where they might have got that from, knowing what we know about Hollywood. But the acting was really good, and so we said, what is it Q said? What makes a good movie?
Good actors, right?
Good
And
actors,
that
man.
brings me on to this next bit. So I'm going to show you all a little bit of another trailer for another movie that I really think you should all be going to check out. It's called Official Secrets. It came out last year. It's also based on a true story, and I'm going to play you.
Oh, we're going to watch this, aren't we?
It's what we're watching after. Yeah, we're watching after we go live tonight. And no, if you're not up to anything, bro, and you just want to stay up like stupid late for no freaking reason. Oh,
Clutch with us and watch a movie, bro.
School tomorrow, bruv.
Talking about that.
Clutch with us and watch a movie.
No, listen, I know we're live right now, yeah, but like, can you bake with me tomorrow, please? Or like, not live. I'm talking about practice. Like, help me out with this dough, bro. Like, my kids really like pizza, and I can't be affording the pizza delivery. Yeah. Jess really wants to make her a little pizza,
and you've got
I'm like,
all the things I said to you.
I've got everything. I've got everything on the list.
No
So yeah, I don't know why that just thought that it was. No, I know what the thought was. The thought was my kids aren't going to school tomorrow, and like double. Do I want to eat it tomorrow? No,
yeah,
I'm not.
You're supposed to leave it overnight, but you can make it tomorrow. It won't be quite as good.
No, that's fine.
If you make enough, then it'll last. Like it lasted me the whole week. So
I've got dinner for tomorrow secretly because I made lots for today, so that there was some tomorrow. So I've got dinner for tomorrow.
Is it banana bread all day?
Yeah, banana bread all day. But yeah, look, shout out to all the parents in the chat room. Shout out to you, Adam, because your kids aren't going to school tomorrow as well. Shout out to your loving, lasting wife.
I've got to go to bed. I'm afraid I've got school in the morning.
No worries, my darling. I'll send you all the links. I'll send you all the links. You're our hero, my darling. Honestly, can you give the chat room just a quick synopsis of how you're handling this next week that's ahead? Because your kids are off school. How are you handling it? Not to pry too much into your personal life, but I mean, is this a struggle for you? As it is going to be, because I can't navigate work with my kids at home. It's insane. I don't know what I'm going to do, and I'm not a key worker.
I've got a double banana day tomorrow, mate. It's you know, I've had one of the pharmacies shut because of landlord issues because I'm in a spa store. So we finally got the go ahead. The lease isn't signed, but I'm going to open up anyway and just provide the services under the gratitude of the landlord, the spa owner. So just look after people there. But I got BBC TV tomorrow and local press with the MP and stuff as we open that, and then it's back to the day job for lunchtime. And it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's just back to chilling people out. Like I said, just getting the stuff over there. Hopefully tomorrow we start with the council as well, with the, you know, like lots of little businesses doing is buddying up and offering support. So we're going to, I say, buddy up with the local spa and support some of the old folk that the council identify and just get some essentials out to them. So it's just seeing where it leads us. And I say, I don't worry too much about the narrative. I do know that there's a lot of people out there that need our help right now. And when they don't, and the dust settles, and you can examine epidemiological data, you certainly can't do it during. It'll be good fun to examine, but for now, it's get on.
Adam, you've got a love and appreciation in the chat room that I'm putting up on the stream right now on the screen in front of you. We do appreciate all of your efforts and what you're doing on the front line right now, especially for your local community. You are the front line for your local community, as the pharmacies are and chemists are all across the country right about now. I know from my own personal experience, I saw for the 3 pharmacies that are near me, the queue was out the shop down the side of the queue was in front of other shops that people had to make way for people to go into the other little corner shops to top up their bit. But you could clearly see where the pharmacies were because you just had to look where the queues were today. And I think most of those people just going in there getting information as well. And you know, there's a range of things that people are going there for. But where the supermarkets have shut down their points of contact inside the supermarkets, and people have started to see that surgeries, like you said, Adam, 3 of my local surgeries are just shut. There's a sign on the door that just says, "Yeah, call this number."
Yeah, it's just to say thank you for the. I can see them. It's heartwarming. It's very humbling as well. So yeah, thanks guys. It's
big time.
He's got
big
those viruses freaking. It's Mr. Adam Meakin.
We do big you up
He's
and
got
massively
those viruses freaking.
and if you're able to tomorrow night, come back on with us
Adam Meakin.
and let us know how you're doing. Do you like the background?
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Yeah, well, maybe we can chat. There's a lot of stuff that viruses don't exist, and I'm not saying they do, but I think there's a lot of stuff that needs putting into context with regards to that statement that viruses don't exist, and that's one for another night. But maybe next week we could. I don't profess to know a lot, but there's certain fundamentals of. Certainly the way the media portray it, but the way if you look into it just a little bit, you'll grasp it. There's something going off. It is. I'm worried that there's a message that this is not take COVID out, that things aren't necessarily communicable in terms of they're not transmitted diseases, that they're causing something else. And I think at this point, even if they're not, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that there is a way of transmitting like that, and to rule it out, I think would be a little, obviously with a lot of stuff, selfish, justifying our selfish actions under the ground. I think it's a fake, and it is or it isn't. I sit here and I have many questions myself, but for now, discretion is the better part of valor, and unless they're telling me to do something that is against my conscience, and staying at home and baking with my kids isn't too much, then I think
it's all we're being asked to do is stay at home. I think this is one that we can all not mess up this time, if it's okay with you, I'm just going to relay what it's saying on the NHS website. It's saying to stay at home if you have a high temperature. This means if you feel hot to touch on your chest or back, and it's saying in brackets you don't need to measure your temperature with a thermometer to do that. And it's also saying stay at home if you have a new continuous cough. This means coughing for a lot more than an hour, or 3 or more coughing episodes in 24 hours. And then in brackets, if you usually have a cough, it may be worse than usual. It also says to protect others, do not go to places like GP surgeries, pharmacies, or hospitals. Stay at home. Use the 111 online coronavirus service to find out what to do. Is that pretty fair? Would you say?
I think that's great advice. Please don't go rocking up at the pharmacy. You can, if that happens, there's a potential that you take the whole unit out. We're very stretched.
Underneath throughout the live stream, Adam, I've made sure that information is relayed, and I've got the USA version from the CDC on the bottom of the screen as well.
Yeah. With anything, that number's there. Ring it if you feel something different, unsure. Just check. There's nothing wrong with ringing that line, and if there's anything to deal with, hopefully it'll be progressed. And if you're not sure, ring the 999 line. If you're really adamant and you're not feeling you're getting listened to, ring a different line. Ring the pharmacy. Ring your GPs. Don't just take one word for it. If you think you're not being listened to, it's not a definitive statement on those things. If you're unsure or you've received it in the morning and you feel a lot worse in the afternoon, ring again, please. As you can see, with those charts, there is an onset, and we've all had a cold, and we can feel fine in the morning and like death in the afternoon. So
yeah, exactly. That's how it's gone for me in the past, Adam. I've been absolutely right as rain in the morning, and by like 9-10 o'clock at night, I'm flat on my back. That's the times I've had things like that in the past. So again, I cannot thank you, Mr. Meakin, enough for joining us. You go and get some well-deserved rest.
Thanks, man. Good night, Adam.
For tomorrow.
See you all in the week, guys. Take care. God bless the wheel.
Take care, sweetheart. Bye-bye. And then there was 3. So massive shout out to Meakin. Massive shout out to you all in the
3.
We're going to move along to the official secrets trailer. So if it's all right with you, I'm going to share my screen, share the audio, and then I'll get into this with you after. Okay.
Oh, I'm excited. We're going to watch this after, yeah?
Yeah. No, you're more than welcome to join us as well, you know.
What were you employed to do?
I translated signals intelligence and
I've seen it.
Interest to my clients.
You're a spy.
Did you get this email?
The Americans want us to help them get a UN resolution for war.
So, you work for the British government?
No.
No?
This proposed war is historically unpopular.
I work for the British people. I do not gather intelligence so that the government can lie to the British people.
Intelligence may be being manipulated to take this country to war.
I could get you a copy.
You're asking me to collude in a breach of the Official Secrets Act. Some call that treason.
Someone has betrayed their government and their country.
You might need our help.
If we do not go public, we would be conceding that no one can ever tell the people when their government is lying.
Your marriage will be interrogated.
My husband had absolutely nothing to do with this.
He's a Muslim.
I'm sorry?
You chose loyalty to your country over loyalty to your government, your marriage, and yourself. I think that speaks rather highly of you.
Catherine Theresa Gunn, you're charged with an offence of the Official Secrets Act.
Do you want to risk it all?
How do you plead?
Okay, so that is the trailer for Official Secrets. Some of you may have seen that. Some of you may not have seen that.
Did we start watching it, Rox? Did we start watching
We'll
it?
get to finish it. I'm terrible for stuff like that. Yeah, we'll get to finish it. That's
Can we start from the beginning, yeah?
Yeah. Definitely. Shout out to anyone who's watched that. You'll have to go and look for the full feature-length movie of that. And there's Adam in the chat room. Good night, my darling. Good night. Yeah, so that's Official Secrets. Take a look for that. You may be able to rent it online. You may be able to find it online. I'd strongly suggest that. And to wrap it up, I'm going to play the intro for this movie, which you can find on John Thor's channel. Again, I'm going to just put the link for this in the...
This is another awesome movie, man.
Yeah, man. Like proper awesome.
Absolutely awesome.
Like major awesome.
Really makes you think, doesn't it? It sort of, it makes you realise how it's done and why it's done.
Yeah. The intro for it's kind of long, so I'm just gonna quickly skim past a little bit of the
Capricorn 1
proper part of the intro. Yeah.
It's Capricorn 1.
Yeah. There's a few people that have definitely seen it. There's a few people that haven't, so I'm just gonna add
like
this
7
to the
with my
stream.
dad.
Yeah, you know them ones. So here we go. Check this out.
View the morning for you at T-minus 8 hours, 5 minutes. Launch Complex 39 was cleared, and we began to load liquid propellant into the launch vehicle. At T-minus 4 hours, 30 minutes, Colonel Charles Brubaker, the command pilot, Lieutenant Colonel Peter Willis, and Commander John Walker were awakened by Dr. Roger Burroughs, the flight surgeon. They were given a final physical examination and pronounced all fit. The crew then had a breakfast consisting of half a grapefruit, a 10-ounce steak, 12 ounces of orange juice, 2 eggs, and toast. The crew is now in the gantry access arm where they're preparing to enter the spacecraft. We're at T-minus 30 minutes and counting, and this is Capricorn Control.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Horace. Are we late?
Traffic was terrible. I see you're all in good spirits.
Have you done the EDS test yet?
They're almost completed.
You want us to enter?
In a moment.
What's up?
I'm not very good at things like this. I've known you, especially Colonel Brubaker, for some time. What you're about to do today, I've spent my life just like you to know that I feel that all I've ever worked for has meaning today, and I'm very proud. Proud of the program, proud of what I've been able to contribute in some small way, and proud of you. I'd like for you to take this Bible with you. From me, from all of us.
Why, Horace, I don't know what to say.
Well, try saying nothing for a change.
Horace, thank you. We'd be honored to take this with us.
Well, gentlemen, let's go to Mars.
This is Paul Cunningham, Capricorn Control. We're now at T-minus 21 minutes and counting. Wives of the flight crew are here at the gate, and we'll be flown back to Houston following launch.
Good morning, Congressman Pico. We've reserved 3 of the best seats for you and for General Enders, right next to the Vice President. Is he here yet? No, sir. He's due any moment.
Asshole probably thinks they'll delay the launch for him. Someone should tell him this is not a bridge opening.
I hope you and Mrs. Pico will be very comfortable. The agency would like you to have these commemorative binoculars to help you watch the launch and to remember this day.
Ah, it's very nice. Look at it. Have a date, Capricorn 1 emblem and gold.
Very nice, Alice.
I'm glad you like them.
We'll need another pair for my wife.
I beg your pardon?
Don't make a fuss. That's all right.
I said we'll need another pair for my wife.
It's really not necessary.
Emily, take mine. I really won't need it.
Congressman Pico, there's only a limited
I'm
amount.
sorry, I didn't quite hear what you said. Would you mind repeating it, please?
Oh, there's no problem. I'll get another pair right away.
Very thoughtful.
This is Capricorn Control. We're at T-minus 15 minutes and still counting. All systems are go. All lights are green. Mission Control has reported the spacecraft is now on full external power. The launch vehicle will transfer to full internal power at T-minus 50 seconds. Both Ascension and Canary tracking stations report clear reception. The prime recovery ship in the event of a terminated flight will be the USS Kitty Hawk, which is located 350 nautical miles south-southeast of Bermuda. This is Capricorn Control.
Hello, Emily.
How are you?
Phyllis?
Hello, Hollis. Nice to see you.
Glad to see you. Hollis, how are you?
Very well, Mr. Vice President. How is the President today?
Oh, just fine, thank you, Hollis. And he asked me to personally express his regrets at being unable to attend this launch. However, there were some very pressing matters that needed his attention in Washington.
Like getting reelected.
Mr. Vice President, I hope you and Mrs. Price will be very comfortable. The agency would like...
Do you see the NASA top? It's amazing how a company in reality can get put in a science fiction movie. Wonders will never cease. I don't want to play too much of that. I implore you to go over to John Thor's channel where you can watch the full movie. Go and get yourself tucked up. Get yourself something nice and comfy to drink and put it on and entertain yourselves with it. It's a great movie. Even if you've watched it, go and watch it again. The link is
ready,
there in
man.
the chat room, man. The link is there. The link is there. I'd play the whole thing and watch it with you if I thought I could get away with it. I want to
add
shout
a
out
film
John
to
Thor
your
for that.
recommendations.
Please, please. Yeah.
Network, 1976.
Yeah. Network.
Film from 1976 called Network.
Network.
It is very prophetic.
Oh, nice, nice. So hopefully we
I-
suggested some viewing stuff for you. Yeah, go on, Brad.
Can I chuck out a suggestion to people as well? Go and maybe take a, just because it's really good. They're talking about computer viruses, not virus. You know, that's the only connection, is it's computer viruses. But if anybody hasn't seen it yet, Mr. Robot, the series, there's a season 1, season 2, I think, and that's right, exceptional. That's really good.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, Mr. Robot.
Thank you for that, bro. Well, this has brought us to the end of a 3-hour live stream tonight for Really Woke Reports Live. I hope you've enjoyed what we've been talking about this evening. We've kept you up to date. They've obviously locked down things a bit more internationally and
entertained you a little bit this evening.
Yeah, we're not really sure. Go on, sorry, bro. Go on.
I was going to say branched out into a little bit of entertainment because we didn't want to just keep going on about the same stuff over and over.
True. This is true. And I think really on a feel good vibe, we have to play everybody out with some of you again. Like, obviously, I'm not going to play the same bit, bro. Don't worry. You have nothing to.
Are you going to play the Mr. Mraz?
What?
Play that one?
What one?
The Jason Mraz.
Is that the one that you sent me in Skype?
It's in Skype. I can send it to you again.
Yeah. If I pick the right one, please just send it to me again so I get it right.
The reason I chose this one is because the lyrics. I said, hang on, sorry, I'm just on my phone. So, yeah, the lyrics. I've said this before. I don't know when I said it. I'm having deja vu. Maybe I said it on my stream. The lyrics mean something different to me now. I did this song last Saturday, and you know, my last gig, and it's like I wasn't singing it to a girl. I was singing it to every single human being on earth that's involved in this now at the moment, and it's so it makes the lyrics a little bit more poignant. If you think about it in that sense, if you perceive the song as a song to the human race instead of a song to a girl, yeah.
Oh, so, thank you. Right. Well, once you send me that, I'll get it set up, and then I will share the screen, and we will play you all out with that from Double. Thank you, Rachel. Thanks for a great show. Really enjoyed. Thank you to Vertec. Really woke team. Great show as usual. Thank you, everyone. And thanks to Roxanne, 007, and Noel. Sleep well and sweet dreams. Take care, all,
Jane.
as well, from
Thank you,
Effie Mowry. That's all right. That's all good.
Thank you, everyone, man.
Yeah, man. Noel, do you have any final words for us before we wrap up tonight, my darling?
I will apologise for being a bit quiet, but I'm sort of done with all the COVID-19 stuff. There's just,
man.
It's just basically every country is just slowly heading into the same state of quarantine, aren't they? There's plenty else going on in the world. We're just not being told about it because the media is completely occupied. So keep your eyes peeled, I guess. Let's try and figure this out.
Yes, nice one for that, Noel. Lovely jubbly, darling. And to Raymond B, and Tree Poet, and Effie Murray, and Alfie Patchin, and Pat Riot, and Rachel Pixie, and Ian Adams. And further up the list there, My View 1875, and to Adam Meakin as well. He's popped that in there as well. Comedy or Prophecy? YouTube, watch. Click that link there, guys.
Off the top of my head, 5 Art Liberalis, Catherine O'Connell.
Nice. Tonlit. Yeah, shout out. That's exactly what I've said this evening as well. Boris has given us 24 hours to comply or it's complete lockdown. Exactly. I saw what was done today. I felt like it was done on purpose. People were just out being ignorant. No need for it. Exactly. Well said. Good night, everyone, from Alfie Patching as well. So yeah, I'm gonna go into Skype now, grab that link, stop that there, pop it there, and give you all a big kiss and a hug. Stay safe wherever you are. Stay light, uplifted, and positive and optimistic, because somehow, one way or the other, we are all going to get through this. Until tomorrow, at about the same time, if it's okay with you guys, with the kids being off school, I'm going to not get my kids down and settled until about 9-10 o'clock at night. If I go live in the daytime, it'll be something to do with the kids, something constructive that I'm doing with the kids. But other than that, it'll be 10 o'clock each night for Really Woke Reports live with myself, 007, and if he graces us with his presence, this lovely guy here, Noel Harry Watson. Big hugs and kisses to you all, my darlings. Yeah.
I'm gonna premiere another live gig from last year. I'm gonna premiere that tomorrow again at 3 o'clock. Yeah, if anybody wants to come.
Yeah.
Just chill out for
it.
It's like 2 hours long. All my gigs are 2 hours long, so it'll be a 2 hour long stream basically.
Our pleasure, Underground. You're more than welcome.
Underground. Love you, man.
Reverend Hull.
Oh, love you, man. Tonlet.
Rachel Pixie as well.
Rachel, all of you, man.
Big hugs to you. Big hugs to you all. Where we go one, we go all from Alfie Patchin as well. Lovely night, everyone, from my view. And well done, everyone. Stay safe from Tree Poet. Honestly,
It's like that, isn't it? Where we go one, we go all.
Yeah. Right. Add to the stream. And after this, we'll wrap it up.
Look into your eyes, towards the night sky, or a beautiful sunrise. There's so much there, just like the morning stars. I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. How is your soul? Well, I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love, still looking up. And when you're needing your space to do some navigating, I'll be here patiently waiting, here to see what you find. 'Cause even at the stars, they burn, sorry they fall to the earth. You got a lot to learn. God knows we're worth it. Won't give up. I don't wanna be someone who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference that I can make. Our difference is to do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got you. We got a lot at stake. And in the end, you're still the friend of things we didn't intend for us to work. We didn't breathe, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without the world caving in. Had to learn what I got, what I'm not, who I am. No, I won't give up on us, even if the skies get I'm giving you all my love. Still looking up, still knocking up. I won't give up on us. God knows I'm torn, I am down on. We got a long to learn. God knows we're worth it, we're worth it. I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love, still looking up.
Thank you so much, everybody. Until tomorrow, where we will be, same time, same place for Really Woke Reports Live, 10 p.m. tomorrow, GMT. Take care, my darlings. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.